Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Virtue's Last Reward. So we are now finally starting the third path in which we'll go into the creek quarters, the blue door or cyan door, and then it will just be the beginning of the long journey to go down these multiple branching paths. There is a decent chance that we will get a character's ending now that we've seen two of them that would unlock a path like this path, so that we've on the first playthrough may hit a point where it says it doesn't pop up the to be continued prompt so much as it just lets the story continue. We'll have to just wait and see when that happens. Fine, I will go through. We can see the other two options are already checked off. The cyan door with Alice. I'm thinking I'd like to go with Alice and take the cyan door. Is that okay with you guys?
Sure.
That means Quark and I are getting paired with Luna.
So, what this does in the first AB game is we will be voting against Alice, which I guess we may have never done before, and Dio and Quark are going to be voting against Luna, and I feel like that Luna is going to end up at 1 point and get betrayed, because I feel like Dio and Quark are going to betray always.
I don't have a problem with that.
Unless something very weird happens, which maybe it will.
Miss Luna's nice.
The thing here is there is definitely several different scenarios once we start seeing how the timelines sometimes just come out with random outcomes, as we saw in one of the previous timelines where Tenmyoji chose not to betray even though he had betrayed before. The only other thought is that perhaps in that timeline when Tenmyoji didn't betray in the first AB game, it's because he knows something about Clover to the point where I don't know what that could really be, because it would be really weird if Clover was kidnapped and frozen and this was hundreds of years in the future. It'd be really weird if it turned out that Tenmyoji was like the great-great-grandson of Clover, or even of her brother Light. That doesn't really play off as super believable. And we assume that Tenmyoji isn't like the grandfather of Clover, and she just doesn't know.
That means Clover and I will
So
take the door with Tenmyoji.
I don't think there's a family relationship, but there
I wanted to go with Alice.
almost certainly is some kind of relationship where Tenmyoji is willing to be nicer to Clover. Maybe it's just because she's younger.
Well, no.
Maybe he just has a soft spot for younger kids.
Okay, what is it then?
Well, you're really gonna make me say it? You're old.
What?
I'll have you know, I'm as spry as I was when I was 20.
10 seconds remain until chromatic doors close. 9, 8, 7.
So is this gonna count down to 0? We don't have time for this. We need to go.
You're getting an earful later, young lady.
See?
Yeah, whatever.
3.
See, in this timeline, all of a sudden he does act kind of like a father. And the announcer does say 0 in this instance.
Doors closing.
Then the chromatic doors close. Actually, after 0 is said. Now, we haven't actually been able to do the escape room with the crew quarters, so there's actually quite a lot of puzzles that are in here. We've only seen the slight imagery of. We don't know what it really is going to turn into. Is this just a hallway?
The door said crew quarters. People probably stayed here.
There are numbers on each of the doors.
I feel like it's particularly crazy. Oh, there's handcuffs on
So they're room
the
1,
door
room
number 3.
2, room 3, etc.
Oh, so we now know where the handcuffs came from that we saw previously and were used as a murder weapon in the previous timeline. It's silly, though, to have a crew quarters right next door to a warehouse where a crew theoretically would be working. A lounge and an infirmary also right next to that area. I could understand the infirmary and the lounge making that sense, but it would make a lot more sense if the crew quarters were on the second floor down below. It would also make more sense if the pantry was closer to the warehouse. But I guess it's kind of pointless to nitpick the layout of a design of a building, because honestly, if we were to really look at the maps here, and I need to start paying attention to what's really going on, the design of all of this is pretty insane. There's big gaps of empty space in all of these buildings. There's lots of hallways for no real reason. There's all kinds of doors and scanners and things that would have had to have been either added for the Nonary game or just always existed. And I just don't see the point of all of that. They're basically entrapment rooms. I guess if this was a high security military base and they wanted to make sure nobody was going to rush from one area to another area, that would make sense. Or if this was a submarine where you wanted to be able to close a door and make sure that the entire submarine wouldn't sink, that might make sense. But regular just facilities, it doesn't make sense at all. Unless of course they are in space, and then these rooms are designed to be airtight transfer rooms. I guess we might as well start by opening one of them. Here's the book about Schrodinger's cat. Here's several puzzles and a phone.
Looks like we were right. This place really says someone lives here.
Yeah, there's a bed and everything.
Yep.
But who would be spending the night in a place like this?
It looks too plain to be a guest room. This room probably belonged to a laborer or some kind of blue-collar worker. I guess this is where the people who worked here stayed.
But what were they working on is a great
Beats
question.
me. Why would I know that anyway? I don't know what this place is any more than you do.
See, if this is supposed to be a test facility for a base on Mars, I don't understand the big warehouse rooms particularly. Like, that seems kind of silly. Why would you build such a big facility? Unless, of course, the warehouse was going to be full of, like, frozen people.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Do you think it might be a coal mine? Or maybe they're drilling for oil or something.
I don't know about that.
We know there's, like, entire sections that we still have yet to see. What do you think these halls
You
lead
wanna
to?
go have a look?
Yeah. Once again, we try and force it. No luck. Looks like it's locked.
No getting out of the hallway until we can unlock it then, I guess.
Looks that way.
Alright, let's split up and have a look at these cabins. Zero told us that there was a key cards we can use to open AB rooms. Maybe there's one hidden in here somewhere. So let's get started. With the nod, Fi and Alice both moved off to start looking. Fi headed towards room 4 and Alice went to room 2. And they don't bother to animate that, but they did animate the doors opening, which seems odd. They might as well have just not animated any of that. In the previous game, there was a case of going through multiple rooms, and I didn't really like the way that was designed. It's handcuffs on the door, I can't open it. Yeah, I didn't really like that design much. And this is really just kind of exactly repeating that. And are we going to get responses now every time we click on something? Set of 3 connected panels behind the phone. It looks sort of like a mirror. Surface is kind of matte and it isn't very reflective, but the light is good, so it's easy to see what's on it, or it would be if there was anything on it. Okay. Damn, it's locked. I think this panel is what unlocks it, but nothing happens when I press the button. Is there a key? Is that a keyhole at top? Probably need a key or something. There's a book on top of the desk. Let me see here. It's called, how the hell do I pronounce that? Schrodinger's cat. There's a kitty on the counter. Isn't it just precious? Whoops, there it goes. Still can't keep talking like a cat when I talk about a cat. Interesting, that seems to be a running gag. Let's see what's in here. Looks like it's all sorts of sciencey stuff. I have no idea what any of this means. I don't think this is part of any kind of puzzle, so I'm just gonna leave it here. Desk kind of looks like it. The top is made of glass. What's the deal with this drawer, though? And then we've got some patterns. What's this? Triangle, a leaf thing, another triangle, and what's the thing on the right? Looks like a silhouette of a fox. Bring out the bed. Huh? What's this? There's a human silhouette drawn in white on the bed. There are areas left where the left knee would have been ripped out. I wonder if that means anything. So I moved the book oddly on top of the safe. This is weird in the fact that nobody's talking to me also. So maybe we'll get some different revelations or conversation when we're in this room. Sigma, what are you doing here? Just thought I'd come and check up on you. Oh, well, I haven't found anything interesting. Let's see. Damn. Another one. What do you mean another one? I saw one of these silhouettes earlier. Had a torn part, although in a different... It was a different part. The area in the left forearm has been torn. Do you think that's some sort of clue? Yeah, I do. Then there's something on top of the desk. It's a little metal piece. So we now have a small metal piece. Which looks like it's... And this rotates. Weird shapes that could be a tin dial. What do you mean too? Did you see something like this in the other rooms? Yeah, just like the symbols on the wall, desk and everything. Really, what could they mean? In the previous game, this was kind of a reflection game. I wonder why that's here. You keep wondering, it's locked. See? I told you so. There's a panel over here where you could put in a passcode. If I could just get it to work. Let's give it a try. 8 plus 1 would be... Nope, we don't know what we're even trying to get. 3, 6, 9. And it resets if you do that. Yeah, we have no idea what we're putting. Do you have any ideas? Ideas for what? How to use this thing? Well, of course I do. You really thinking you're gonna open it just by pressing random buttons? Well, I thought maybe I'd get lucky. Doesn't work like that. There's no way you're gonna get this thing open unless you know what to enter. Let's look at our memo and just see, did we ever write down a number on the memo that really was important? This was the number LXAQ V75 or N56DQ. That's not that password for sure. A phone. It looks rather old. Look at the top. There's a place for a small cassette tape. I think the tape is actually for the answering machine part of the phone. That'd make the phone decades old. Alright, well there's clearly some tricks that we're gonna have to collect a bunch of items from. So we're going into the room with Fi. It definitely feels like the reason why this story plays this way out is to at least throw out the red herring that either Alice or Fi is going to be unobserved, unlike a lot of the other characters who are in at least the same room, if not constantly or near constantly being observed by Sigma, so that they could grab the handcuffs, so they could grab a knife, so they could grab anything that shows up later and we don't know where it came from. Hello, Sigma. Find anything? Not really. Oh. Alright, so here we have an old phone, pretty gnarly. If we're talking old, who the hell says gnarly anymore? Shut it. Fine. Have you tried calling anywhere? Of course, I tried every number I could think of as soon as I found it. Didn't work? No. Which makes sense, I suppose. Why would someone trap us here and then let us make phone calls to the outside world? I don't think it's connected to the actual phone grid. So can only make internal calls, you're saying? Here we have a flat anime girl drawing who, frankly, she looks like she is a mixture of Clover, if she was older, with perhaps more of the tan skin of Alice, and she has like the belly dancing bracelet of the belly dancer in the previous game, and some other high fashion things. And I feel like this is such a solid like color gradient, just a shading here on the clothing. I feel like this is just gonna come right off when I click on it. By the gods, I never thought I'd see one. What? You scratch off the silver part with a coin so you can see the naughty stuff. It's the ultimate interactive poster technology. So that explains the silver. I saw someone try to scratch off a scratch-off card that had been like sitting around for 30 years and it totally didn't work. So something about that technology is not forever. What teenage boy doesn't dream of something like this? I would say there's... I get the idea of scratch off and reveal, but also you're potentially damaging the picture at that point, and also and that was the idea of scratch off cards in the first place, is to have them be very disposable and quickly damaged. Also, it's a little violent, you know. The excitement, the anticipation, and finally the reveal. I look pretty excited. So, worth mentioning, once again in Japan, there's censorship for all the hardcore lower genitalia stuff. So it is an odd scenario, certainly for Japanese people who probably have gone to the public baths out in the country and co-ed bathed with people, or co-ed bathed with their parents or siblings when they were younger, and so it's not like they've never seen a naked girl or man before. But then there's also just a lack of actual pornography that you can access that's uncensored, since it's illegal. And most recently there's been a small push to potentially undo that law. Of course, this chunk of metal ought to do it. So I use the chunk of metal. Damn it. It's too slippery. I think I'm gonna need a real coin to deal with this menace. So I can't scratch that off until I find a real coin. Are all these numbers... These numbers are the same numbers, but they're in different positions. Got something. Look, there's something on top of the desk. Yeah, it's a piece of metal. Kind of cylindrical. So we combine that with that, and we now have a small key. And this pulls out. And this overlaps a symbol. What? Have you seen this before? Yeah. Well, no, not this, but something similar. Some similar patterns in the other rooms. They're all right next to the desk, too, just like this one. Have you figured it out yet? No, not yet. Oh. It's almost like musical notes, I'd say, because if the symbols are supposed to line up in these lines, still not sure what that was supposed to mean, though. Man, not again. Again, the silhouette. Oh, did you see one in the other room? Yeah, I saw another one just like this. It had a hole torn in the ankle, too. No, it had a hole, but it was somewhere else. So we, I think, are pretty much getting told that these rooms mirror each other. So, will the handcuffs open with the key? Yes, goodbye handcuffs. Shouldn't have any more door problems now. Now, do I keep the handcuffs in the inventory? Absolutely not. That's a shame. So somebody else easily grabs them. We're still looking for a phone with a cassette. The lid's open. This should be somebody's elbow on the other side. Yeah, we have a box cutter. Fairly small box cutter. Well, they've got the pattern here too, huh? There's a drawer sticking out from the desk, but there's nothing in it. Since the top of the desk is made of glass, I should be able to see anything I put in the drawer. Okay. Oh, that one opened really easily. I guess it wasn't locked. Now we have a roll of aluminum foil. What's this? It's all shiny. Is this aluminum foil? There's so much of it, though. Must be some kind of industrial size roll. This is way more than you'd used in any normal kitchen. I wonder how much there is maybe if I roll it out. Here it goes. Huh? There's something printed on it. Looks like shapes and lines. Is this some kind of clue? I can't carry this around with me, though. Maybe I can cut the important parts somehow. So that with that gives us an aluminum foil shape. There's nothing inside. It just opens, but I'm not seeing a solution there. Alright, the aluminum foil's in place, just gotta shut this. Okay. Aluminum foil acts as a mirror and reflects the image drawn on the wall. The image and the pattern of the aluminum on the aluminum are overlaid, but this doesn't make sense. Let's give it another shot. Alright. Yep. So this really just feels like a puzzle where we are just being asked to go in circles. Do I still have the box cutter, by the way? Yes, I do. So I have like this weapon that I could use. And probably won't ever actually use. Let's see. That lines up. Okay. Both images are overlaid. Looks like a circle, a star, a diamond, and a triangle. Huh. What does that mean? Well, let's see. Circle, star, diamond, triangle. Circle, star, diamond, triangle. Going around in circles ourselves. Circle, star, diamond, triangle. No commentary when you come back into this room. Alright, well, circle has 0 points. Is there any way we could do that in this code? Circle, star, diamond, triangle. Nope. Can we possibly use this with this? Ah, we've got a whole bunch of patterns. Well, that seems kind of crazy that they wouldn't just hand all of those to you in the first place. Pattern 2, we have pattern 2, pattern 1, pattern 3. Alright. Let's go ahead and try this one. 4985. Let's try that. Let's see. 4. Is there a way to do 9? Is there a way to do 8? Nope, didn't do that. I hit the button wrong. 4, 9, 8, and then 5. Got it. So you're just adding the two numbers together and that opens it. Ha, piece of cake. Wow, good job. That was pretty impressive. There's something here. A cassette tape. Small cassette tape. Alright, well, now we'll see if we can put the cassette tape in each of these things. Are you trying to put the cassette tape into the telephone? Really might as well give it up now. It's not going to work. The lid of the cassette tape doesn't open. Alright, well, then we know which player it does work in. And so we'll just open everything else while we're here. While we're also here, maybe we should. We don't have the coin, nor do we have the box cutter to cut out the papers. Let's see how this works. Nope. Yep. So it's not that one. Let's try this one. I've already figured out two of them. 3, 4, 7, 2. Let's give it a try. 3, 4, 7, 2. And the best part about this, of course, is this is the only time we're gonna have to do this. Escape room, probably. Good job, you escaped it. Hey, yeah, I'm pretty great. Looks like there's something in there. Yeah, check it out. A wallet. You probably shouldn't get your hopes up. Why not? Just a feeling. Yeah, fine, whatever. I'm not gonna let you bring me down. Let's see what's in here. What in the hell? What is it? There's only one coin in here. And it's not even real money, just a toy coin. See? Didn't I tell you? Damn. Yeah, this is a toy coin? This looks like a fairly old coin. Also, it very easily could be a coin of the current time, and that might be a hint that they are far in the future. Alright, you silvery bastard, it's time to meet your doom. Let's do this. Yay! Damn, you're pretty excited. Hey, don't misunderstand me. I'm just really anxious to find a clue in there, aren't you? You want to let me do it then? I'm sorry. Please, just let me have this. Then get on with it. Search for hints on the poster, hold the A button and move the cursor across the areas of interest to scratch them. This is a great example of one of the gimmicks that was promoted with the 3DS originally, is that you could use a stylus just to scratch off things, and it really never caught on because it's just an unnatural, silly thing to do in the middle of a game. I don't even think scratch-off cards are particularly popular in Japan or the West when these concepts were thrown out there. They were just desperate to try and find a justification to have a touch screen on the 3DS as a selling point, when the truth of the matter is touchscreens and touch panels have barely ever been adopted in games. The PlayStation controllers still have touchpads, and that is somewhat helpful to simulate a mouse in a menu environment, but almost every good game does not use a mouse in a menu environment, and they instead map buttons directly for faster input and more logical transversal of different menu options. Select the green triangle to move up your view up and down. Let's get started. And I suppose at a certain level too, this is just saying Phi particularly would not care if Sigma was looking at porn right next to her in the middle of this death game. And yeah, that might be slightly more of a Japanese thing where you're not going to cause a conflict and complain even if you did care. So, holding the A button down, we can see she's going to have some kind of bikini bra. And we can see that she's got like a butterfly tattoo or symbol, sticker, not really tattoos. And you can see that a lot of the silver is covering up not really her cleavage but her upper stomach, probably to hide something. I guess it's a matter of how accurate would you want to be with this. If I bring out my mouse and do this, yeah, it is slightly faster to swing a mouse around and try and clear the whole thing. This girl that they've made up, this 2D girl, is an indicator certainly that the animator has a certain type that he is coming back to the well for, as far as the type of girl he would like to draw. So yeah, nothing too scandalous there so far. There's silver over here on this bracelet for the number 9. Okay, so we now know that. This tattoo. I suppose it is worth mentioning that pretty much unless you're in the Yakuza, you don't get tattoos in Japan. So there's a small counterculture, I'd imagine, in Japan of Japanese people who like tattoos. And certainly the silver wasn't the only thing that could be scratched off. So I should probably run my mouse just over everything just to make sure. Oh, don't tell me that's completed. Wow, so I totally skipped the part that probably would have been more interesting, which would have been doing the bikini. And taking notice that the animator also specifically designed it so that she would have bikini lines that were slightly off of the bikini. Wheeze, wheeze, wheeze. Pant, pant, pant. Damn. I look away for a second and you've scratched it all off. Yeah. I noticed some things that might be clues, so I kept going. You mean the marks on her arms and legs? Yeah. There were 4 of them. A star, a circle, a diamond, and a triangle. Hey, what are you doing? You already scratched it all off. No, I'm not done yet. The blue part still needs to go. Yeah, he's being perverted. Stigma. I don't think that part's gonna come off, no matter how hard you scrape. So, it was circle, star, diamond, triangle, right? So 1, 5, 8, 9. But is there something specifically about the beds that, or a hint to this? What do you think those shapes, 4 shapes mean? The star has 6, the circle has 1, diamond has 8, and the triangle has 9. Do you know what this is? Star, circle, diamond, triangle. Have you seen in these anywhere before? Yeah. And you don't get to keep a picture of this. That seems like that should be a secret that you unlock. So was it simply that we were looking at these and these were hints to this? Maybe. I've kind of immediately forgotten the numbers. Let's look again. I'm gonna go with 1689. Yeah, 1689. See if that works. Have I used all of my inventory items? No, I haven't. Let's see. Yeah, 1689 seems to be what we need to put in here. But we can't do that yet. One 1689. Well, that's no good. I can't connect to anything. Let's see. 911. 1. Nope. 4-digit number. And so things like other countries 999. Won't work. Or 112 won't work. Just trying several different countries' emergency numbers that I thought might work. There's a decent number of them out there, certainly. So did we get this? I don't think we did. This says locker. Okay. Let's put the cassette in here. All I have to do is close the lid. Now I put the tape in, now what I do? I want to hear what's on it. If I want to listen to the tape, there's a small cassette. I don't know this old technology. Thinking back to when I would have an answering machine and with a cassette tape or anything, there would have been a play button, and usually it would have had enough memory to tell you that there was a message that would flash a light or something anyways. But yeah, almost certainly it would just have a play rewind button. People don't even really use home phones at all for the most part these days. Okay. We have this open. And then we have this one open, right? This appears to be an internal line button. Number one probably means room 1. That's the room I'm in right now, so it would probably call here. Actually, I probably wouldn't do anything. I mean, it's not like you can call yourself with one phone. But there's no harm in trying. Nope, nothing. Pressing 1 is pretty pointless. Alright, so let's try 3. This appears to be internal line. Connect to room 3. There's no phone number associated with this button? What? That's weird. Why can't I call room 3? Let's try. Let's give it a shot. Who's this? Oh, hey, Alice. So are you there? Sigma, is that you? Yeah. Where are you calling from? Room 1. That's right, next door. Why did you call me? You could just walk. Wait a minute. What's wrong? There's something on the display. It says 25 asterisk asterisk. 25 asterisk asterisk. Do you think it's a clue? Well, I'm gonna look around this room a little more. I'll see you later. So let's call room 4 now. Turn the line button. I bet 4 means room 4. That's where Phi is in. Might as well try pressing it. Who's this? Just me. Better than Justice, I suppose. Really? You can do better than that. I'm hanging up. Come on, wait. What do you want? And where are you calling from? Room 1. Ah. I guess they have some kind of internal line. Seems like it. So, what is it to you? Huh? What's this? Let's see. Agricola 92. I don't know what Agricola is. Didn't know you were into German-style board game farming simulators. Whoops, I meant asterisk 92. How on earth could you get those two mixed up? That's what it says on the phone's display. Asterisk 92. So 2592. Maybe it's a clue. Anyway, I'm going to go back into searching this room. Anyway, alright, so now let's try this. 2592. Ba ba da ba da ba ba. Just noise. Congratulations. That voice. It's 0. Looks like you found the answer. The number you just entered is the number for the phone in the 3rd room. The buttons here on top of the phone are just shortcuts. That means all the other phones have actual phone numbers too. Though I guess that's not really important. Anyway, you're calling room 3 right now. Room 3. That means, since you're so clever, I'm sure you figured it out by now. But yes, you're right. I'm speaking to you from a pre-recorded tape. So you can grasp me all the questions you like, but I won't be able to answer them. I'm afraid this little talk is going to be a bit one-sided, arg. Then again, it's going to be very little talk because I only have one thing to tell you. Have a look at the left screen above the phone. The answer you're looking for is hidden there. What answer, you ask? Well, I can't help you with that one. Bye. Have a nice trace. Left. So it's... Oh, there we are. 2652. 2652. I'll try this. 2652. Hey, it opened. There's some kind of pin in here. Let's see. I already got that pin thing, so I can close the lid now, right? Put the pin in. Huh? What was that noise? Maybe I can type stuff now. Okay. So I think that got me everywhere I need to be. Although we are in a kind of weird position because the secondary answer is questionable. Alright, so we want now 1689. Yeah, we can't do anything with these phones. So 1689. How do we get the gold file in this? One, 6, 8, 9. 1, 6, 8, 9. Circle, star, diamond, triangle. We'll go back and check. Circle, star, diamond, triangle. Just a lot of transitions here for kind of no reason. Unless the game is actually trying to force us into let's see. Star has 6. Diamond has 8. Triangle has 9. So it's 1, 6, 8, 9. Circle, star, diamond, triangle. Alright, well, let's try typing that into the 1689. I'll try tapping that into the phone and seeing what that does. And maybe that'll give us 2 numbers. One, 6, 8, 9. Did I do it wrong? 1, 6, 8, 9. Okay, 9, 8, 6, 1. It was just backwards, okay? Yes, it opened. Oh, this is just like the code we saw in the Ambidex room. I mean, it's a different code, of course, but it looks really similar. I think it's probably opens the safe. So we found one password. It's just all connected to the gate. Okay. Trying to think. If one code worked backwards, there's clearly another code that needs to work. So what's the trick there? It just says locker. We already did that. Wait a minute. I suppose there is a way this would work, wouldn't it? If I was to equate the shapes here, circle, star, diamond, triangle, to the numbers on the door, could we do that? So, like the leg here would be 8, and this is room, what? 4? So last number's 4. And it would sure be easier if I had a picture of that. Second to last number is 6. So 9864 or 8964. Let's try those. 9864. So 9, 8, 6, 4, or 8, 9, 6, 4. Let's see. 1, 6, 8. 8 should be first number. This is room 1. Eight, 9, 4, 6, I suppose is worth trying. 8, 9, 4, 6. 8, 9, 6, 4. And there's no removing this. at all. That's room 1. This would be 1. 6, 1. What am I? How did I get that far? Far off. No. Should have made some memos here. Yep. They've intentionally made this so you walk around and that gives your brain just enough time to blank out and not pay attention. 6 1 8 9 or 6 1 9 8. I think we can probably assume it's 8 9 6 1 8 9. This is more complicated than I think a lot of people would figure out. But at a certain level, I guess that's all these puzzles in a nutshell, is that the only way you're not going to end up getting a full complement of gold files is if you can convince people to give up. 6 1 9 8. Well, it was backwards, so maybe we'll try it the backwards way then. So backwards, it'd be something 1 6. So it's either going to be 9 8 1 6 or 8 9 1 6. I may end up looking just up at the answer here. Let's see, number 1 door is labeled as 8. Wait a minute. So 1 is 8. Two is 1. 8 1. 8 1. And then we go over here. 3 is 6. 8 1 6. So it's number 4 9. Or do they reuse a position on the body? 8 1 6. 8 1 6 9. In all honesty, it would be 16 combinations if I was to just map it out and brute force it. 8 1 6 9, I think is it. If not, we'll try it backwards. 8 1 6 9. Then 9 6 1 8. Okay. Alright, well, I'm gonna look up the answer. I generally know what I'm supposed to do here. I just seem to be having trouble getting it to actually work. Which this is the 3rd escape room, and I imagine this is just going to happen more and more as we go on, where some of these codes are just not worth the effort to try and brute force it. Okay, skipping down, blah 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 blah. Skipping. All the way to the bottom. We've, I think, done everything. Got shortchanged on the poster scratching. Oh! I see there's a problem here. The shapes on the poster of the girl are upside down. So the star is upside down and the triangle's upside down, which changes it to 1986 for the escape password. And then let's see. Let's see, there's some other phone numbers you can type in. Let's see, 0818 is the grotesque sounds of ravenous, gruesome consumption are heard, which causes Sigma to vomit. 3141, and maybe we need to type these in, or the first 4 digits of pi. You hear the message from Euler. First known examples appeared from the time around 9500 BC, time known as the Egyptian Neolithic period or the New Stone Age, where stone tools were shaped by polishing or grinding when becoming common. They often took the form of gallimites with honey concealed inside them, inside a wrapping created from ground oats, wheat, rye, or Sigma says, "Do you ever stop?" and hangs up. 5309 8675309 is Jenny. Jenny will answer. Sigma says, "Hey, I got your number on the wall," but before you continue, Jenny hangs up. 6724 is the last 4 digits of Axis's Games phone numbers. It connects to the Axis test group, where the automated message will thank you for volunteering to join. The message asks Sigma whether he'd prefer the mental or physical test battery, although the mental tests do carry a small risk of death. 6969 connects to a prostitution line, which charges Sigma $24.95 a minute, but Sigma comments that's too expensive. I think that's a little too rich for my blood, thanks, and hangs up. And then 8008, spelling boob, gives you an upside down message that says, "Gosh, he's illegible," from Olay. Okay. I am still trying to find the secondary code, though. Apparently there was a fatal game breaking glitch in the 3DS version. Almost certainly fixed now. Let's see. So it's 9861 for the secret file, which I think I tried that, and 1986 for the escape one. So which one do we have right now? Oh, we got the escape one, the file one. We didn't get the escape one. Alright, well, that would have been bad. 1986. So the part I missed there was the upside down shapes. I was overly complicating. Whoa, this version works too. The color is different though. So let's get that key. We're almost certainly just going to get some conversation that's not even going to matter that much, and then we just need to rush forward. And since we're going to ally the first time, we probably are going to see a lot of good branches or better branches that that unlock instead of seeing, and then we're going to end up potentially seeing a lot of bad branches. I wouldn't be surprised if the last 4 branches we have to go through, or at least the last 3 of them, maybe give us a character ending, but not anything really great. Alright. So we'll try this. B-O-O-B. Since in honor of Alice's boobs. And that's a bunch of numbers that I guess if you read upside down, gosh, it is he is ill. What the name of? So just little Easter eggs. And I would assume there isn't an achievement around that, because that would really suck to have to come back here and type in a whole bunch of Easter egg codes. Let's do this. And apparently I'm gonna be able to just open all of this alone. Which, is this the one timeline where I end up with something from inside the safe and I get to keep it for myself and not share it? We need a sun and then 2 moons. So we'll do that. Or is Alice and Vi going to walk in here and catch you? Yes. It opened. Man, what good is a victory dance when there's no one to see it? I'm lonely. Oh well, I'll just have a look inside. Wait a minute. If I look through the stuff here without telling Vi and Alice, they might be suspicious later. You two, you took something while we weren't looking. Yeah. Those are 2 bad sides I really don't want to be on. I think I'll just go get them before I go through it. Well, that was easy enough. Hey, what's this? Did you open this, Sigma? Yeah. Who else could have? Why didn't you tell us sooner? What? Forget about it, Alice. Let's just see what's in there. What's this thing? It's a map. It's always a map first. More stuff in the safe? Why don't we get all of it before we start going through it? Good idea. Looks like we've got a card. Whoop, make that 2 cards. These are one of those cards for the AB room. See, it says the Ambidex room, right? So it does. Then we can use it to open the AB rooms, yes. But how are we supposed to get back there? The door to the warehouse is still locked. I think the answer to that question is in the safe. Check it out, the note. Here are a few more rules for you. So, oddly, it seems like there are, at least in 2 paths, extra rules in the first 3 rooms, or at least in 2 of the first 3 rooms. So somebody is stealing these rules and not sharing them. 1 or 2 people. Once you open the door, you can hop through it as much as you like. Blah 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 blah. These are the same rules we've seen over and over again. Let's see. So this key will open the door to the end of the hallway? Yes, it will. Let's go. Wait. What about the book on the top of the safe? Oh, it's a book about cats. And we don't have time for that, right? Meow. Meow? Sorry. It's this sort of, I guess you could call it a tic. I had it since I was young. I wish I was just kidding, but I can't control it. I wonder if the secret here is that Sigma actually is a cat, somehow magically turned into a person. It's not dangerous though. You're perfectly fine. Not dangerous. Anyway, the book's called Schrodinger's Cat. Don't you mean Schrodinger's cats? Oh, you've heard of it? I think it'd be hard to find someone who hasn't heard of it. For real? Do you know what it is too, Alice? Of course I do. I was just wondering why this book was here. So what is Schrodinger's cat? It's a quantum physics thought experiment. The book probably discusses the principles the experiment talks about in more depth. See, Erwin Rudolf Joseph Alexander Schrödinger was a scholar in theoretical physics in Austria. He was born in 1887 and... Wait, is this going to be a long story? Yes, thought so. How about we talk about it later then? I mean, we just found the key that'll get us out of here. You do have a point there. Yes, he does. We should leave now. Alright, let's go. What? No. I'm not going anywhere. Sigma, what are you doing? Let's get out of here. No. And it's not like I've saved anytime soon here. I didn't know I had to put the key to get the file later. Every other path has let me put in the other password first to get the secret file. Why is this doing it differently? Lock for the door, right. Right now it says lock. You guys ready? I'm gonna open the door. Okay. I'm ready. Go for it. Alright then. 3, 2, 1. Well, that's crazy. I guess at some point I'm just gonna have to rewind back to that point to get the secret file. That's just like total insanity. They've never done that before with the saves, and we'll never be in the crew quarters again to get the golden file. I don't think we made our way down the hall, and at the end it was waiting for us. Was everybody else? It looks all the gang's here. What's up?
We left our room, headed left.
And ended up here.
Sigma, let me see that map you found earlier.
And we've got a lot of dialogue here, and some of this could be different, but a lot of this could be the same. Seems like they're making an extra effort here to show that every path ends up in the same hallway. Although they don't really connect very quickly to the same hallway. No matter which door we took, all of them lead back here.
The map we found in the lounge.
Oh, we found something like that too. Our room was an infirmary.
And so.
Maybe we should sit down for a bit and exchange information.
No, there's plenty of time for that after we check out this elevator.
So down you go. In the previous game, there was fear in going down elevators because the boat was flooded and sinking. So it introduced this fear that then had to be alleviated and really led nowhere. There was a lot of writing in the first game like that, and there's still a decent amount of that in this game too, but they did clean up the writing quite a bit.
This is just like the other.
When we're not having just ridiculous conversations that don't matter. We're not having characters pass out. We're not having characters afraid of generic random issues.
The one on the left is green. The one in the middle is blue.
In all fairness, I feel like a lot of the Jigsaw Saw movies would also potentially have been more interesting if there were more characters who could keep their mind on the game and actually try and compete
Are these chromatic doors?
in one of the Saw games. And I suppose in some of the later movies in the series, as it continued to get crazier and crazier, people really were willing to compete more
The ones we saw earlier.
instead of just kind of lay down and die, which Saw 2 in particular had some characters that pretty much just laid down and died, and
just like
had
the
too
other
many characters in the first place.
Good trying to force it open, I suppose.
And I guess Saw 2 wasn't supposed to be a Saw movie in the first place, so
Is something wrong, Alice? You've been staring at your bracelet.
Oh. No, I'm fine. But it looks like my guess was right. The numbers have changed.
Numbers. Oh yeah, the time left. Looks like 2 hours and 6 minutes.
Ah, for fuck's sake. You telling me we're gonna have to just sit around here for another 2 hours?
No. Looks like we don't have a choice then. Gotta head back. Clover, how about you show him that note we found?
Oh, okay. Huh? Was it something about supplementary rules?
So in this case, each of the groups found supplementary rules. So nobody was able to steal a note like that.
It was in the infirmary.
Which Dio is in this group, so there's now no way Dio can activate the AB game gates early. Although maybe I'm confused here. Maybe the supplementary rules that we find in the first round don't talk about the idea of people not being able to being penalized if nobody in the group votes. Maybe the supplementary rules in the first round just talk about the free movement rule, and maybe there is always 2 supplementary rules for 2 tiers, which means if we ever do make it through the white chromatic doors, maybe there will be a 3rd supplementary rule. I also wouldn't be surprised if there is a supplementary rule that literally says if all 9 people choose ally, everyone gets 9 points. Here are a few more rules for you. We need to pay attention here. Once you've opened the door, you can hop through it as much as you like. The chromatic doors are like that too. Once you open them, even I can't keep you from going in and out of them. Any color, any bracelet can go through them, as many people as you like. It says once you've opened a door. It almost seems like that implies that everybody could just run through the number 9 door, even if they don't have 9 points. But you have to escape before you can take advantage of the free reign rule. Once you've activated the chromatic door and gone through them to the puzzle beyond, it won't let you go back until you've solved the puzzle. So there are 2 different supplementary rules. They should have been labeled number 1 and number 2. If that's true, we can go back all the way we came to get into the warehouse.
Zero's saying we can. I think he's saying we have to. Otherwise, what's the point of that key card?
You mean this? The Ambidex room key.
We found some too.
That makes 6 then. 1 for each AB room.
Let's head back to the warehouse.
So when Zero says jump, we say how high, huh?
If you don't like it, stay here. Stupid angry mutt watching the door sounds about right.
Asshole. Better hope I don't have rabies, you self-satisfied old turd.
Well, what's it going to be?
Honestly, I should just rewind back
Or are you staying
to
here by
the
yourself?
to the escape room, put in the other key code, get the golden file, then skip through all of this to the next decision.
Fine. I'm going.
And I think that's what I want to do. Is we went through the story once, and then I can just put it in skip mode after this point. And we probably should make a save file just to be careful. Or we could just go down this whole timeline and we could rewind back later. Make some jumps around. But I feel like I'd forget.
So, this is the crew quarters, huh?
Yeah, there is a different conversation here.
Just as the note said. We had no trouble getting in here.
That means we can go to the infirmary or the lounge.
Yeah, we can check out any of them.
Hey, look, Grandpa.
Interesting. Now Cork is gonna make a joke saying the grandfather's a pervert.
They got a poster of a lady in here. It looks like the ones you got back home.
This one's pretty hot. I think we're talking at least 14, maybe even 15 EU.
EU? What does he mean by EU?
Agreed.
I sure would like to take it home with me. Unfortunately, I don't think this is really the time for that. Let's keep moving.
I have no idea what EU is supposed to stand. Well, hold on. Grandpa, since when were they buddies? Or had they always been that close? In other words, they'd known each other before the Nonary game. And if Quark is calling Tomoji Grandpa, maybe they are even related. Alice and Clover seemed close too. Just how many of these people knew each other already?
Let's go, buddy. I can't wait to get out of here and back to my grandpa videos.
Yeah, this is a pervert path, and once again.
You mean the ones you keep in the locked cabinet?
Shh. You're being too loud, Quark. You have to say these things quietly.
Yeah. Creepy pervert paths. Which, if they were spread out and you guaranteed that they were spread out equally, then you might have some falling action comedy there that I could really appreciate, but unfortunately there's a lot of timelines where that's just not going to line up, and instead you're going to end up having a lot of dramatic timelines and then maybe 2 or 3 comedic timelines back to back.
You were taking some.
Ah, for yawning. You're just a You don't get time.
Hey, my temper's so otherwise.
Forget it.
So
Alright, namely.
And at this point, they haven't even found the dead body of the lady.
But who goes into
Which
what
is also funny because it looks to me like the AB room hasn't been moved either.
Anybody can go into any room.
But there are only.
Didn't I tell you? The two members of a pair share this.
And we're gonna just skip a lot of this.
What do we do after we go into the room?
Play just like it said you play.
Wait, what's
I would guess most use the word.
Yeah, just a massive amount of text.
The makes sense.
like hell?
Is it? Or what do you think?
Well, I'll give you more. I think it'll.
Yeah, it to me looks like the AB room has not moved over. So if the dead body of the lady is on the left, then it was always on the left.
Why are you asking me? Just hurry up and get in there.
This would also be the last path in which there would have been any possibility of not finding a dead body. And I think that's not going to happen.
Something wrong? What are you talking about?
Wait, there's no one here. See, it is different.
Of course there isn't anyone here.
See, the timeline has changed. The dead body's missing. Well, yeah, I know.
Let's go inside.
Yeah, right. Who went into the rightmost room?
This looks just like the room we woke up in.
Yeah. Well, there's one thing that's different.
Screen.
Yeah. Looks like there's something on it. Yeah. This whole thing kind of, this whole game kind of almost feels like a lucid dream, where it's trying to play with you
Shit!
in the idea that your familiarity with events that you would expect to go one way suddenly starts going a different way.
What the hell are you doing, you idiot?
What? I just pressed the start
Did you
button.
even read what it said? Once you press that button, it locks the door for 40 minutes.
What?
Now, thanks to your stupid ass, we're stuck in here for almost an hour.
What? Oh, really?
Yes, really.
Hey, hey, hey! Looks like everybody's closed their AB gates.
Wow, everything is different now. You get locked in there for 40 minutes? I don't think she's reading that right. AB gate.
You're in the AB room, silly. You're in the AB room right now.
And Zero is talking to us differently now?
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll be continuing my earlier explanation.
Now, let's get this party started.
And it just kind of jumps. And see that jump there clearly shows that the timeline is different.
Let me tell you about the AB game. Since it's a game, you're obviously going to have an opponent. But it's not like this is a battle royale where you just fight everybody. Each round will be a one-on-one battle.
I guess I do need to actually go through this dialogue because it's been long enough.
Well, there are 2 people in each pair, aren't there?
So it'll be more of a 2-on-1 battle, I guess.
Now, I imagine you're all wondering who your opponent is going to be. It's actually really easy. You'll be competing against whoever you paired up with to go through the chromatic doors.
For example, Siggy and Fido paired up with Alas and went through the cyan door, didn't they? That means that Siggy and Fido will be playing against Alas.
And it goes the other way too.
Alas's opponent will be Siggy and Fido. Obviously, that means Potassium and Cleaver's enemy will be Tamioli. And B.O. and Quirk's enemy will be Mooney.
And he spells quirk slightly different when he's calling him a quark, but it still sounds the same way.
Well, I guess enemy isn't really the right word, is it? After all, if you choose ally, then they're your ally.
What? Don't get it? Well, don't worry. Just listen while Zero the Third explains it all.
First, I want everybody to focus on the screen on the device in the back of the room. You
This
can
is like
see
totally
A,
different dialogue.
ally, and B, betray on it. Do you?
All you guys have to do is pick!
Just pick one of those easy options. Your BP will go up or down, depending what you pick.
What would be really insane is if the rules played out completely different. If you got like 3 points if both people allied, and only got like -2 if both people betrayed, instead of it being 0 for both players if both people betray.
It's a little complicated.
That'd be really crazy though,
You are a little slow.
and that would really confuse the issue.
I made this picture. The plus and minus are from your point of view.
Yep, it's the same
So,
scoring.
let's say you choose ally. You'll get 2 BP, and so will they. We call that
The best pals outcome. Just puts a smile on your face, doesn't it?
I'm not sure if these lines of dialogue are the same, but I don't think they'd matter if they were different.
but your opponent if that happens. We call that the stupid jerk face outcome.
Somebody did that to me. I'd skin them and stew them with some taters.
The third choice is the opposite of that. It's when you choose betray, but your nice, innocent opponent chooses ally. This time,
You're the one who gets 3 BP, and they're the one who loses 2. We call that the serves them right outcome. I mean, what were they thinking? Choosing ally was a stupid choice, and there's nothing for you to feel guilty about. And finally, the very
Same
last
old
scenario.
text.
This is when you choose betray, and so does your opponent.
Because the old lady's body has not been found, that has completely changed the timeline here as far as like when people got into the AB rooms, which potentially means that people will all vote and then potentially be released from the AB rooms, not in 40 minutes like Fi is saying, but as soon as everybody's done voting, and at that level, that means the Radical 6 will be not as developed in Quark or Phi or any of the characters who I think everybody has Radical 6 infection potentially, which may very well be the time constraint that any of these paths run into, is without finding a cure for Radical 6. I feel like eventually everybody either escapes or kills themselves.
If that happens, neither of you guys are losing. Absolutely zero change in me.
Boring. We call this the why even bother outcome. As the game master here, this.
You're probably wondering about the pairs, aren't you?
So he doesn't want people to betray everybody all at the same time.
Let me explain. Remember how I told you that both people in a pair share a destiny? Well, that applies here too. The two of you only get one vote. You get to choose once between ally or betray.
That doesn't mean you split your points, though.
You both get 3 points, or lose 2 points, or whatever. In other words, what you see on this chart is what you get.
This is another instance where there's just a lot of front-loaded dialogue, but in this case, you only see it 3 times if you play the game right.
Actually, there's a little bit more.
Although I wouldn't put it past a lot of people to get a game over, and since the game would just start at the beginning, they would just play the whole game all the way over again and waste their time. Like, there probably is a good 5 hours between the beginning of the game and choosing one of these chromatic doors if you take it slow, where also I don't think there's any big revelations here, at least until the timelines start changing.
It'll just happen,
And
I guess.
if the timelines are changing, then
Hush now. It'll be okay.
yeah, in this case, he's refusing to tell you any more information even though there's plenty of time. No, it won't.
30 minutes remain until Ambidex Game polling closes.
Anyway, I've got to hop along now. Don't do something harebrained and wait until the last minute. You've got plenty of time, so think it out. Bye-bye now. Have a nice trust.
Have a nice trust as a new ending. Man, what are we gonna do?
About the AB game?
Yeah. Should we choose ally or betray?
Yeah, it's a tough call. This is really kind of an interesting game.
So apparently we're just gonna have a 30-minute conversation.
Seems like it's based on the prisoner's dilemma.
What's that?
You've never heard of it? It's a thought experiment that uses game theory to examine why people do or don't cooperate.
Yeah, and there were some experiments around the prisoner's dilemma, and other experiments like that that have later been proven to be basically forged and wrong. And frankly, a lot of the psychological experiments and basis for a lot of psychological methods and discoveries are questionable at best. You don't get that same
Apple and banana
response,
serious crime.
obvious outcomes, and retestable experiments like you do in the harder sciences compared to psychology. But also there is a issue certainly with almost every paper that gets put out these days. Is there's a heavy push to publish papers and make claims and make discoveries and get put in reprinted in scientific journals, and there's very little funding and push to actually go back and test someone's claims to affirm or disfirm something. So there's less testing than what I think the scientific method really needs. Let's get back to the game. Apple and banana.
The first names I thought of.
That's A and B.
They don't mean anything. Anyway, Apple and Banana are caught by the police and sent off to separate cells far away from one another. In other words, there's no way for them to contact each other.
It definitely is different content.
And they're not like telepaths or something. So that's the setup. You following me?
Yeah, keep going.
So a detective shows up. He visits each cell and tells them both exactly the same thing. Goes something like this.
You can both clam up if that's what you want. We're gonna have to put you both in the slammer for 2 years if you do. Now if you flip on your pal over there, tell me everything. I can get your sentence reduced to 1 year. That means your buddy will serve 15, but that ain't your problem, right? Of course, if he decides to spill the beans, it goes the other way. He gets 1 year. You get to spend 15 years eating government cheese. You're probably wondering if both of you confess. Well, I can shave off a little time for saving me trouble, but you'll still both do 10 years.
This is a slightly different outcome.
So, punk, what's it gonna be? You gonna give me what I want, or you gonna keep that trap shut? Of course, I told your partner the same thing I just told you. I wonder if you can trust him to keep the cat in the bag. No rush. Give you plenty of time to think about it.
So that's the prisoner's dilemma.
What would you do?
I would not talk to the police because the police are notoriously capable of lying to people, and they aren't judges. They don't set years or dates on sentences, at least not in the United States. But in general, never talk to the police is the right response.
Say you were in Apple or Banana's shoes.
Well, but the numbers are completely different. If my erstwhile criminal associate Banana is going to keep his mouth shut, like, yeah, then the best choice is for me to spill the beans. That way I only serve 1 year. But what if he confesses too? Then the smart thing would be for me to do the same. Honestly, I'd still stay silent and maintain innocence at all times, because you know, you're in jail for 1 year, you're in jail for 2 years. It kind of doesn't matter in the United States judicial system, because it kind of ruins your life financially and as far as an ability to get a job anyways. So your entire life can be ruined easily just by a 1 year sentence versus a 2 year sentence. A shorter sentence than 1 year, maybe you could get out of that, but usually if you get 1 year of jail, you still are on like 5 years of probation, 2 years of probation after that, so that still becomes the same problem. But this is a different outcome, because if both people betrayed, which would be the confess version, they both are getting more of the negative than by far than the way it works with the AB game. So it's kind of a bad example. She should have just used the same numbers, and it kind of makes me wonder if these numbers might be some kind of secret number passcode that they're trying to hint towards. After all, if he cuts a deal and I don't, then I'll spend 15 years in prison, and if I confess, I can shave 5 years off that. Then it seems like the best choice is always going to be confess. Also, in the United States, snitches get stitches, as it were, is what they like to say. So, like, rolling over on people is not a great way to start your new life in prison.
you're forgetting something important.
Which
That
is?
Banana will be thinking the same thing. So you'll both confess, and you'll both end up serving 10 years. Do you get it? If you both trusted each other, then neither of you would have served more than 2 years. But because you both made the decision based on your own self-interest, you're going to spend 8 more years in prison. In other words, the logical decision leads not only to a less desirable outcome on the group level, but also a pretty shitty situation on the personal level too. You see now? The A-B game is the prisoner's dilemma.
Yeah, they're pretty much the same thing. If we trust Alice, we can both increase our BP by 2. But if we don't trust each other, in the long run, it won't benefit either of us.
Yeah, but this is where it gets interesting. Let's say for a moment all 9 of us are on one team. Who would we be playing against?
0, of course.
Right. So we can assume the 9 of us are fighting 0 in the AB game.
Interesting perspective, but I don't know how you implement that thought.
If you look at it that way, what would we want to do to beat him? Just look at the point totals. Say we all picked ally. What would our total points be?
Well, 2 times 9 is 18, so 18 points.
Okay. Now let's say one of the pairs chooses betray.
The pair who picked betray would get 3 points each, so they would have 6 points. But the solo they betrayed will have 2 points subtracted, so the total gain for that game would only be 4 points. The other 2 groups who would choose ally for that round, right? So for the other teams, you'll get 6 each, which is 2 times 6 is 12, plus 4, 16 points.
So what does that tell you?
If we consider all 9 of us to be on the same team, we need to all always choose ally to get the most points. Even if one person chooses betray, the total points we get goes down.
Exactly. In this game, if each individual acts for the benefit of the whole group, everyone benefits.
And of course, that's a very Japanese mentality that does not immediately translate into the minds of non-Japanese Western people. Of course, it didn't really translate into the minds of most of the players in this game in other timelines either.
But if everyone starts looking out for themselves, it'll impact the group negatively. And eventually, it'll impact them negatively too.
Yeah, I guess it would have been nice if we had this conversation outside in the warehouse when everybody else would have listened to this. But I guess also they intentionally only explained the rules once we were in the AB rooms, so we couldn't discuss it.
If all of us choose betray, then the group gets 0 points. Ultimately, nobody benefits. Not even the individual. In other words, selfish but logical decisions hurt everyone. And they hurt you.
I don't know if you can always, in every scenario, make that, apply that thought, but certainly in this game you can. Okay, I think I get it. What you're saying is that I should pick ally.
No. I mean the opposite.
What?
If you're going to make the most logical choice here, the only option is betray.
Why? You just explained why that was a terrible idea.
No, I didn't. It's not the prisoner's solution. It's the prisoner's dilemma. Even though there's an outcome where everybody's happy, the choice you'd have to make for that outcome isn't the rational one. You want to pick it, but you can't. A dilemma. If we choose ally, and Alice does too, then yes, it'll be great. All 3 of us will get 2 points. That would be ideal, obviously.
Interesting.
And it would help everybody. But what if Alice chooses betray?
RP goes down to 1.
Right. And if that happens, we're screwed. So
20 minutes remain
So
until
that conversation
Ambidex
apparently
Game
took 20
polling
minutes.
closes.
Unless we can be certain that Alice will choose ally, we don't have a choice. We have to choose betray. Unfortunately, we don't have any way to know that for certain.
This would be funny if this turned out to be a to be continued path. Like right now. That would be insane though.
That means we have to make the rational choice. It would be great to make the right choice, but we can't.
There's not even a dead body here, so there's no fear like all the other timelines. Hey, did you just say we're screwed? If you don't mind telling me, what do you mean by that? I'm guessing something happens if our BP hits 0, right? I mean, the way you said it sure makes it seem like something's going to happen. Do you know something? You do know something. What are you hiding? ... Yeah, you know there's been something weird about you from the moment we met. I mean, for starters, how'd you know my name?
Knock it off. This is getting old.
So in this timeline, Phi clearly has some memories from other timelines. I don't care if it's getting ancient. This is important. I don't know you, but you seem to know me somehow. The only explanation I can think of is that makes any kind of sense is that you're working with Zero.
What about you?
What?
Are you working with Zero?
I might be. Me? Why would you think that?
Too calm. You wake up trapped in some kind of twisted game and it doesn't even faze you? That hardly seems normal.
That does make that is an interesting point. Oh, come on. I could ask you the same thing.
Don't change the subject. We're talking about you. Maybe you actually do know me.
What? Where the hell did that come from? Look, I already told you. I've never seen you before in my life. ... Well, we're shattering the timelines more. And we're seeing things we haven't even seen yet.
Sigma. Just let it go. Our time's up. This is it.
2 minutes on the timer. The timer on the watch didn't... We never confirmed that told us the time for when the polling ends.
Before it ends, I wanted to tell you thanks. You know we're about to die, but you still stuck with me. So, thank you, Sigma.
So,
Goodbye.
clearly, these timelines are different. Although it may very well be that you just see different scenes based on like how many other endings you've seen. So this novel section very well in other people's playthrough just ends up over here, or this novel section ends up over there. That's the only thing I can guess. Either that, or we are actually missing what would have been a lesser playthrough story that would have missed a lot of these extra scenes. Here we have a custom image of her hugging him, potentially dying in his arms. And the big explosion, which we haven't even gotten to the bomb yet to even know about it. What was that?
Wrong?
I saw
what?
the explosion.
Explosion?
I think there's a bomb somewhere in this building. I'm not sure, but it sounded like it was on a timer. You and I were trying to stop it, but we couldn't do anything, and
Whoa, Sigma, calm down. What are you talking about? What is it now?
My head.
It hurts?
Yeah.
You said it hurt when you first woke up in the AB room, too.
It didn't just hurt. It felt like it was going to explode.
Are you all right?
I think
Maybe
so.
You should rest a little.
Yeah. Maybe I could just lay my head on your lap.
Of course.
Sigh. Of
I
course.
shouldn't have worried.
He's flirting with her. Fine, I spent the rest of the time until the door opened in silence. The AB game was forgotten as I tried to make sense of what I'd seen. Had it been real in any way? Or was it just a hallucination brought on by the stress, or maybe some strange drug they dosed me with while I was out? It had seemed real, though. Was it a premonition? I had to stifle a bark of laughter at the thought. Seeing the future? This wasn't some crappy sci-fi novel. This was real life. Arguably, it is a crappy sci-fi novel, a visual novel. I don't think it's crappy. In all fairness, it's just extreme. It's just a lot of text here. Things like that didn't happen. I was just tired. The stress of the Nonary game was probably getting to me more than I thought. I was just tired, and I was emotional. A hallucination was strange, but really, it was perfectly understandable. But what if I wasn't losing it? What if I was fine? What if it hadn't been a hallucination? I sat there for what feels like hours, and my mind running in circles.
5 minutes remain until Ambidex Game polling closes.
So,
all players, please enter your votes.
Is it possible that somebody murdered the old lady, voted, and then hid the body so it wasn't found? It almost seems like in every other timeline they intentionally were trying to make the body be found. Or maybe that was Zero Jr. that was intentionally trying to make the body found. But in this case, that didn't happen. If I was going to kill somebody and replace them, I would have definitely tried to hide the body as much as possible. And Dio didn't seem to really bother with that. What the hell was that?
What? Do you need a translator? If you don't vote fast enough, then it'll set your vote to ally. Make sense? Or do I need to use smaller words?
So if you plan to pick ally, then you don't even really need to go into the AB room.
Guess not. We're already in here, though. So we might as well figure out what we're gonna do. What's it gonna be, Sigma? Ally or betray?
Why are you even asking? You made it pretty clear that we should choose betray.
Well, I didn't say should. I just said we didn't really have a choice.
That's the same thing.
Completely different. The former is an active opinion. The latter is just passive information.
Whatever, you still want to betray, right?
Yeah.
Then why did you ask me? So we never really finished our conversation from earlier. Phi might be Zero, and that's why she always makes Sigma vote. But also she might just be manipulative and not want to take the blame. You said that we'd be screwed if our BP dropped to 1. What did you mean by that? Is something going to happen if our BP gets to 0 or something?
We die.
So Phi does know that much.
If
What?
our BP drops to 0, we die. The needles in our bracelets activate.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Well, how the hell do you know that? Zero never said anything about
I
it.
don't know. I swear I don't. I know somehow. There's just this feeling I've got. Like, that's what'll happen.
It's fairly obvious something would happen. It would be kind of ridiculous if you could just continuously go into the negative numbers. And, although there is also kind of no reason to not penalize people who get down to 0. Because as soon as somebody gets 9, they're going to escape and trap everybody else in the room in the warehouse anyways. Oh, come on, that again? You feed me the same line when I asked you why you knew my name. How can you know all these things when there's no no way on earth. Wait, did you see it? What? Did you have some sort of, I don't know, premonition?
What? What the hell are you talking about? You sounded like a crazy person the first time, too.
Sounded like a crazy person the first time. Then you haven't.
Seriously, Sigma, are you okay? I think there's something wrong with you.
This was wrong. Fi was supposed to be acting strange, not me. Instead, here she is asking me if I was okay. But what if it wasn't just her? What if I was losing it too? I groaned. My head felt awful. I'm a little surprised some of the game over endings didn't just end in an explosion sound. That would make more sense. I guess that also tells us what happens once the 9 door opens and someone escapes is, even if somebody was to go to get help, the bomb will go off and blow them up before then. My head felt awful. It was like someone had thrown my brain in a food processor and hit puree.
1 minute remains until Ambidex Game polling
It
closes.
didn't really take 50 minutes to go through all those in-game 50 minutes, but it took a lot longer than you would
You're
expect.
gonna pick. If you aren't going to do it, then
No, I'm fine. I'll do
you're
it.
gonna choose betray, right?
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
All right. Take it away.
What's funny is the story is kind of telling you to trust her,
Ambidex Game
but
polling
she's
closes.
constantly telling you to betray. I stood in front of the selection screen and took a deep breath. This was it. I ran over my options one last time. There was only one possible choice. And we'll do ally. Just because it's the top option, and we're going to go through every ending anyways.
Round 1 of the Ambidex game has been completed. Results will be displayed in the warehouse.
If I had voted 10 minutes ago, the question is, would the doors have opened?
Thank you for
Or is
your
everyone kept
participation.
in the AB room
Ambidex
until all the
gates
voting is
now
done?
opening.
I guess everybody is kept in AB rooms until the voting is done. Fine, I stepped out of the AB room. You can see the others running towards the projection, shoving and pushing to get closer.
What the hell were you thinking? Did you hear anything I said?
Yeah, I was, and yeah, I
Then?
did. Well, I want to believe in
It's
Alice.
not really a rational decision.
I know.
Yo, what's up?
Now we're back to more dialogue.
Hey, what are you kids doing over there? We're about to announce the results.
Let's go. We'll find out if you made the right choice.
Alright. I feel like there's a decent chance that this is the one of the branches towards the good choice though. Like, although it does seemingly force us down either a green door or a blue door. I bet it's a blue door option, and we just won't have any other options to go anywhere else. So there is a lot of long dialogue here.
Looks like you're all here. Finally.
And unfortunately, all of this dialogue could change at any point, so we need to pay attention. We'll try and skip as much as possible.
Direct their eyes to
And I guess that's the maximum number of images they have for people. So Kay and Clover betray Tomoji. Pork and Dio ally with Luna. Sigma and Phi ally, but we get betrayed. And that seems like a flash there to indicate that the timeline changed. So Kay and Clover betrayed Tomoji, but Dio doesn't betray. Interesting. And that puts everybody in very different time well, different points positions, certainly. We've got 3 6s, 3 5s, and 3 1s.
Here are the results from your game. Now, let us check the numbers on our bracelets.
Hey Alice, what the hell is this?
Excuse me? I just made the most rational choice. The best way to minimize risk and maximize reward in this situation is to choose betray. Anyone who thinks otherwise is, well, an idiot.
Why? Why did you do it?
Ask you the same question. Why did you do something as stupid as choose ally?
Why haven't you heard of the prisoner's dilemma? The best solution is for all of us to choose ally.
All of us, huh? Kay and Clover chose betray too, you know. Yes. I know about the prisoner's dilemma, but everyone picking ally isn't a reasonable outcome. Just look at the results for this round. What do they tell you?
That people aren't trustworthy.
Trust somebody you just met. Well, maybe tender-headed would be a little more appropriate in this case.
It's weird to be chastised by Alice, just once again being visually distracted by her cleavage. In all fairness, I think you could have gone with this art outfit for the girl on the poster in the crew quarters, and then that would have only been seen in a couple of timelines, and that would have just been a side story. And then you could have easily just had Alice in just a regular bikini top if that's as far as you wanted to go with it, and I'm sure you could find an Egyptian gold style bikini that would have worked just well, perfectly fine. But to go with this like necklace is just insane amount of cleavage for a character to look at. What?
Was that upsetting? My apologies. I'm only trying to warn you.
Alice is right. You made a stupid choice. And thanks to you, our BP is down to 1 now.
The game is just actively yelling at you. God damn it. Set my jaw and stomped away from Alice and Phi. My hands balled themselves into fists, but my throat was tied to my eyes stung. Why? Why had she done it? Quark, Dio, and Luna's group, on the other hand, seemed calm, almost happy.
Thank you. I'm so happy you chose ally.
No problem.
It's weird that Dio, in this storyline, wouldn't betray.
Well, to tell you the truth, Mr. Dio wanted to pick betray.
What?
Hey!
Mr. Dio told me to pick betray so that we could get 3 points. He said we could escape together. If we betrayed you, then we'd have 6 BP. And then, if we betrayed someone in the next round, we'd have 9.
Oh, Theo, is this true?
No, that's not what happened at all.
Kidding!
Interesting. Quark is joking?
That was a joke. Mr. Dio would never do something like that.
Wow. How is the timeline this different?
Was it a joke?
Yeah. Man, you really had me going there.
I really surprised you, huh?
So you really were planning to choose ally all along? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Don't worry about it. We only did what anybody else would do. Right, Mr. Dio?
Yeah. Exactly.
So either Quark here is basically threatening Dio, or like harassing Dio, because Dio actually was going to betray, and Quark is threatening to reveal that information, or the timeline is just so drastically different. Dio actually did choose ally, or Dio actually chose ally in the first round always, and it really was Quark that hit betray.
I understand. I guess I just haven't had enough time to earn your trust, huh?
I suppose you could say that. I just didn't really expect you to be so nice about it.
Looks like there had been some sort of argument between Kate, Clover, and Tomoji, although whatever it was seemed to have resolved itself amicably. So we missed that conversation.
Zero, when does the next round start?
What makes you think we'll be having another?
Now we're back
Well, you
to
said round one.
repeated
If there's round one,
dialogue.
then there's
Besides,
It's always the same characters talking here, and it doesn't change until he starts mentioning who could die in the next round.
When? I don't know. Why not?
The voting happens.
If he shuts the gates right now, then we never find that dead body.
They're already open.
Right, you are. So, let me just close 'em.
It almost feels like maybe Zero is seeing the time loops also, and maybe he's changing his actions.
Round 2 of the Ambidex game will be the Moon round. Moon cards will be required to open the gates.
Moon cards.
Yes, and now.
Let's keep skipping the text.
So, how many times do we play the AB game?
I don't know. As many times. It's anybody's guess.
So it's over when someone.
Of course. After all, if that happens.
Skip through a lot of this dialogue.
Although, I really, really hope.
This one scene is reused multiple times, and I would say it's probably an unnecessary scene, but it also makes a lot of sense as an experimental scene to just see what it would really be like if they tried to have each of the characters walk around the free open world and interact with each other. But we kind of never see it again. That they are much more zoomed in and paired up in groups of at most 2 when they're on the screen. Also, I suppose it is worth mentioning that either Sigma has actively walked away from the screen so that he can't see it and looked at the group, or Sigma is intentionally not being displayed in this group. We never see him, only out through his eyes, but not out through his eyes as if he was standing in the center of the group.
I don't know. Can you?
This seems new. There's rules about who can go into the second doors, right? Like you have to have 3 people exactly?
So?
Well, what about the number 9 door? Are the rules the same?
There aren't any rules about how many people can go through that door. It could be 1 person, or 2 people, or even all 9 of you. There is one thing though, Siggy. All that stuff about how you have to have 3 people to go through the secondary chromatic doors, maybe it's not.
What? What do you mean?
You can open.
That's not what you told us.
Then explain it now.
Just use the bracelet.
What?
There's a sort of scanning
Keep on
check to see if
skipping all this text.
But that doesn't necessarily mean it's scanning.
So it's scanning.
Ding ding ding!
Hmm.
As long as the scanner sees the right combination of bracelets,
Keep on rushing.
no matter how many
Keep on moving forward. But wait, hold on a minute. Do these things even come off?
yeah, they do indeed.
Then how do I take it off?
Well, the first is to get through the number as soon as you're out. The bracelet unlocks.
What's the second way?
Let's see.
Hey, Zero, wake up, will ya?
See, this is the point where Dio just goes quiet for a second. And is that because... is this because Zero Jr. doesn't want to respond to Dio? Or is it a processing thing? Or is it somebody with Radical 6 actually controlling Zero Jr.? Although, if it was someone controlling Zero directly, I don't know how that would have happened.
What's the second way?
I think you already know.
And of course, this is the part where Zero Jr. basically tells Bio, I know that you know that the bracelets come off when you kill somebody.
What?
Do you
Reaction shot.
Here's an exciting fact. Your heart.
And then more dialogue that you should just skip because if we've seen it 3 to 9 times.
Anyway.
Skip.
Your fancy little bracelets pick up on that. So, when
The lock on the bracelet.
Yep. So there you go. The second way. Your heart stops. Your bracelet comes off. Apart from that, there's no other way to get the bracelets off.
Apparently that's the case.
If you try something harebrained, like I don't think I need to remind you. But if you're lucky, you might get to see a few of them come off during the next round. Oops. I guess it's not going to be very lucky for some of you.
Next round.
Yep.
What do you mean?
Well, do I have to explain everything? Somebody
This dialogue might be different.
next round of the AB game. There. That's pretty clear, right? If I had to guess, I'd say
Feels different.
it's going to be Tenmyoldi. Or Siggy. Oh, or maybe Fido. Or maybe everyone.
What?
Why? Interesting, I responded to that time instead of Alice.
I guess I can tell you why. Anyone whose BP drops to 0 gets penalized, just like when you break the rules. I'm pretty sure I already told you what the penalty is. Correct, Siggy. Full marks.
This really just wasn't the conversation for things to slightly change. Particularly when we know there are lots of conversations after this point where things stay almost exactly the same. So, Phi had been right. But how had she known before Zero told us?
I see. Phi, Sigma, and I only have 1 BP. That means we'd have less than 0 if we lost 2 points.
I took a moment to go over everything in my head. Blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Blah blah blah.
Oh, one last thing. The next set of chromatic doors you'll be going through are downstairs. You already saw them, right? There should have been 3. Red, blue, and green. That means that to get through, you'll need bracelets in cyan, magenta.
I guess in this timeline, Alice is not upset that she might die, so she doesn't complain to Zero about him not telling the rules to everybody and claims it to be unfair, so we don't have that sentence that we've seen before.
Wait, you've already got those bracelets? Have a look. The color's changed, hasn't it?
So am I.
Yeah, Alice is actually being particularly quiet.
Looks like the color wasn't the only thing that changed.
What do you mean?
Well, it looks like I was a solo last round, but now it says pair.
Wait, really? Mine still says solo.
It looks like Luna and I both changed. Although I've gone from solo to pair.
I'm the opposite. Mine went from pair to solo.
No change here. Still a pair. I guess this must be magenta.
Ah, is Dio actually colorblind? Would that really matter?
Are you two magenta too?
Yeah.
Quark, Clover, and I are cyan.
I think Mr. K and I are pairs. And Miss Clover is a solo?
Looks like it.
When did they change?
Back when the AB gates closed. As soon as the gates close, your colors get all shuffled up automatically.
Yeah, I don't know if there's
Pair and solo assignments hop
really
around too.
any big reasoning for that
Of course, it's
that pairing.
totally random. No rules or anything. Now, all of that sadly.
Let's keep on skipping.
Well, I mean, I'll never see you guys
Hmm.
Did you really think As if I
It'd be really funny if Zero didn't do this part at the end.
You man, I may be gone, but maybe I'll see you again someday.
Have a nice tragedy.
Yeah, it seems like the pairing probably just directly balances out to everybody needing to be balanced.
Little piece of shit. If I could just get my hands on that little fucker, I'd squeeze him till he popped.
That sounds gross. I don't really want to think about that.
So what happens now?
Yeah, now they have like all the free time in the world and nothing to even go really look for and investigate. They didn't find the dead body. Nobody is acting like they have Radical 6. Honestly, I don't think anybody even brought up Radical 6 in this instance.
We've still got a while until the chromatic doors open.
It'd be really weird if somehow in this timeline Radical 6 is just not a thing. Yeah, just 42 minutes.
We should go and see if we can find any other exits.
So they're just going to search for
Maybe
exits.
There's a vent or a disposal chute or something. If there's a chance Zero missed something.
I concur. There's no point in standing around. We lose nothing by looking. And if we find
I guess if I walk around, I'll probably will find out more about Radical 6.
5 minutes would give us a good half hour or so. Let's meet in front of the chromatic doors 5 minutes before they open then. Any objections?
Damn. How the hell did I end up here? Then you have this whole background part where I don't think any of this is gonna be different. Yeah, it's just the same text. Same text we've had to see multiple times. Keep on skipping, I suppose. I wish there was a way the game could tell you that this is skippable. And I think that would be the next step in the evolution of this idea for a gameplay mechanic. Although, in all fairness, I just don't think you could make lots and lots of games that play like this and people would be able to embrace it. But honestly, if it did have a big skip button that pops up and says you've already seen this, that would have been very helpful as a hint. Yes, we can go into skip mode, but we don't know if something's going to change or not. You could also certainly have had the time rewind and time loop mechanism just be discovered a lot earlier. That way the main character could say, I've already heard this conversation. Do I feel like paying attention to it again? And then you just say yes or no, and it says no. If you say no, it skips to the next section. Although, at a certain point, that would just be more game prompts that might slow down the gameplay even more. Honestly, I think a story like this just requires a very large hatchet to edit it down. We still haven't found anything about the gas mask characters, although they didn't really play much of a role, other than they were just used as a conceit to hide who Zero was. See, and then we wake up in the flashback. Keep on skipping all of this. So what I need to desperately do is make a save file before anything else. And then I don't think I've ever done the infirmary first. I've done the lounge first too many times. I'm not sure it matters much, but there is almost certainly something that happens if we do the infirmary first in one of the 3 branches. But then there might be something if we do the lounge first in one of the 3 branches, and there might be something if we do the crew quarters first in one of the 3 branches. But I don't think we've ever done the infirmary first, so let's try that. There should be no dead body in here, unless they just found the dead body in the infirmary. That would be weird. So unless that makes a flashback in which I realize there should be a dead body in here, we're probably not going to talk to too many people or have much to say. So, this is the infirmary, huh?
What's up with your face?
Alice.
You look like you just saw a roach. Are you still angry?
Of course. I'm teetering on the brink of the abyss thanks to you.
I didn't have a choice. I'm just trying to get out of here like we all are.
And that's enough to justify screwing someone else over?
It's not what I meant, and you know it. If I'd known for sure that you were going to choose ally, then I would have chosen ally too.
Easy for you to say that now.
What? Am I such a horrible person for wanting to get out of here? I have to get out of here. There's so many things I still want to do.
Like what?
This is different conversation with different people.
I want to wear lots of gorgeous clothes.
Do you, Alice? Because at the moment, you're barely wearing any clothes at all. Although, I'll be fair, you know, for the cloth that she did choose, it is good-looking cloth.
I want to eat tons of delicious food and fall in love.
What an idiot.
How many people in this room? It would have been better for the writing to establish who was in the room first.
Excuse me?
And I was going to take your side, but after that load of horse shit, you're on your own.
Look, let me try this again. I'm frustrated, but there really is something important I have to do.
Which is?
Avenge my father's murder.
Well, this is a different backstory.
That's what I have to do.
What happened to him? Could you elaborate on that?
I couldn't. This isn't the kind of thing I should be telling people I don't even know.
Do we believe this story about a father's murder? Fine. Just tell me one thing. Does your father's murder have anything to do with us being trapped here?
I have no idea.
It'd be crazy to go for Alice to be the linchpin as to why this Nonary game happened.
As to why you're here, your guess is as good as mine.
And see, that's right there was a flicker of black pixels. I think that probably is a visual glitch of the port on Steam, but I just did see a lot of black pixels flicker, so that might supposed to be an indicator when things change, or maybe you're not supposed to see that at all, but it is when things change. Typically when the game seems to want to tell us that things have changed, it seems to do the horizontal line like a old TV turning on and off animation, which is much more noticeable and distinct compared to a bunch of black pixels showing up for just like one frame.
But it's possible that his death is connected to my abduction.
Meaning?
I was on their trail. I was tracking down the people who killed him.
How close were you?
Interesting. I don't know if I believe what she's saying.
I can't say.
It would be fairly crazy if it turned out that the brother, the leader of the cult, as the brother of the brother left, was actually Alice's father, but also that makes no sense because best I can figure, Alice still is the lady who was frozen in time for hundreds of years Egyptian princess. Although maybe she was never that. Maybe that was just a red herring and not true.
But it's possible that I was getting close enough that they decided something had to be done with me.
Are you a detective?
Well, I wouldn't really say I'm a detective. Not a bad guess, though.
Be funny if Alice all of a sudden confesses.
Why are you guys looking at me like that?
Well, I mean, you don't really have the detective look.
I didn't say I was a detective.
Then what are you? CIA?
No.
Fine. Well, whatever you are, you don't look like one.
That's fine. In my line of work, the less I look like what I am, the better.
I guess she makes a good point there.
The better I keep them guessing.
Hey, what's the deal with you and Clover?
What's she got to do with anything?
Well, you know each other, right? I was thinking maybe you were related or worked together or something.
No.
And see, Alice just straight up denies that they work together.
She has nothing to do with my work. She's just a friend that I met somewhere.
Where? Somewhere?
In the middle of a desert.
The middle of a desert. Interesting. In this storyline, she's claiming they don't work together. And maybe that's the truth, and maybe things do drastically change even like years back in the past. These may very well be completely different alternate realities with no connecting branches for hundreds of years. Desert.
Yes, but that's an awfully long story. Wait, hold on. Why am I the only person getting the 3rd degree? That doesn't seem fair to me. How about you guys give up a little personal information too?
Interesting. Are we finally going to get some information about Tenmyoji?
We'll start with you, Tenmyoji. Who are you?
Just a garbage collector.
Garbage collector.
Any ties to Zero?
None.
What's your relationship with Quark? You two know each other, right?
Do I have to answer that?
Well, if you really don't want to, it's not like I can force you.
No. And I apologize, but I don't have anything to say about that subject. I mean, it's not like you told us everything either.
I see. Very well, then. Dio, it's your turn. What's your profession?
It'd be interesting for him to say what his cover story is.
You're probably going to think I'm full of shit, but I'm a circus ringleader.
Well, he does look like one. A ringleader.
You're kidding.
Nope. I'm the real deal. I lead a company of about 50 people. We travel all over the world. It was my grandfather's grandfather who founded it, but my father died at a young age. I'm a 5th generation ringleader. My old man was a trapeze artist. He tried to do this quadruple flip and missed.
See, what's more ridiculous is that was the cover story he decided to go with, and this is the outfit he decided to wear for that cover story.
Well, I guess he wasn't really young. He was about 40. Still, he was pretty reckless for a guy that age. Always talking about how he couldn't let the kids show him up. Guess he just took it too far.
I see. You lost your father too, then.
Yeah.
See, he just made up that story to relate to Alice.
Shit. Guess I got a little sappy there. Anyway, point is, I don't have any damn idea how I'm connected to Zero. I got grabbed on the last night of one of our tour stops.
What night was that?
Gone out to a couple bars and gotten shit-faced.
Well, it doesn't matter what he says, it's a lie anyways.
On my way back to the caravan, this black van pulls up. Somebody grabs me and throws me inside.
What's interesting is that is a very different way in which a person could be kidnapped compared to everyone
Before
else.
I can even get a look at them, they hit me with that gas and I'm out like a light. Next thing I know, I'm waking up in the AB room. Anyway, enough about me. You still haven't heard your story, Sigma.
Well, we might finally get some backstory for Sigma.
Who are you?
I told you guys the first time we met. Don't you remember? I was on my way home from school. When I got in my car, the white gas started pouring out of everywhere.
Doctor?
No. I'm still working on my degree. I'm shooting for a PhD, but I'm not quite there
Guess
yet.
You've been working on that for quite a while, huh?
What? Yeah, I guess I have.
Can you think of anything that might connect you to any of this?
Good question. Believe me, I've thought about it, but I just keep drawing a
What
blank.
about Zero?
No
Do any
idea.
of the people here look familiar to you?
Nope. You're all strangers. Well, I guess I really can't say for sure about Kay since I haven't seen his face. I suppose it's possible he's someone I know.
Just who is he anyway?
Until that amnesia clears up, I don't think we've got any way of knowing.
Oh, come on. You know he's full of shit.
You still don't believe him?
Of course not.
Okay, well, Kay is a bit of a mystery, but what about some of the others? Clover, for instance. What does she do?
I think she's a student. At night, she's a waitress or a bartender or something.
Okay. So Alice says she's a student, which I don't believe is true. And then she works at night as a waitress or bartender. What about Cork? Well, I guess he's probably doesn't really have a job, huh? He's still in elementary school, right? Why is that funny?
It's nothing.
I bet he isn't in elementary school. I bet he's a
Just
genius.
forget about it. Yeah, you're right. Boy his age would be in elementary school.
You really don't know much, do you? About Quark, I mean.
Well, if it makes you feel better, sure.
Well, I know a little about Luna. I got her talking when we were in the infirmary. She says she's got some sort of medical license or something.
It's funny she just says medical license and doesn't go any further.
She's a nurse?
It could mean she's a doctor.
I don't know. She didn't say. Just going by how she looks, though, I'd guess nurse.
That leaves us with Phi. She's the most mysterious to me. What does a girl like that do?
Yep, she does, I guess, surround herself with mystery.
You've been around her the most, Sigma. She told you anything?
Let's see.
Look, I just don't know, alright? It's just kind of there. Like, I looked at you, and some part of my brain just said, that's Sigma.
No, nothing in particular. Yeah, she's a real mystery, alright. I honestly know about him as much as you do, so basically nothing. I hadn't really realized it until I said it. I'd spent hours with Phi, and yet I knew nothing about her except her name, and I only had her word that even that was true. Who was she, really? The more I thought about it, the more suspicious she seemed. A fake detective, a waitress, a garbage collector, an elementary school kid, a nurse, and a circus ringleader, plus 2 total mysteries. What do we all have in common? I don't think Zero would just grab a bunch of people randomly.
There's no point to talking about this. We should just focus on getting out of here.
I agree.
Yeah. I'm gonna go check on the others then.
Where do you plan on going?
Let's go, I guess, to the lounge. Let's see. I feel like I've done the lounge as the third option before. Have I ever done the lounge as the second option? Let's just go with the lounge as the second option.
I see. Right. Later, bro.
Later, bro. Headed out of the infirmary. Wouldn't be surprised if the other 2 areas we go basically have nothing in them. And the way the map shows you your movements, it almost feels like you should intentionally trap someone sneaking down the halls by going in a certain pattern, but it doesn't seem like that's really the case.
Can I get you a seat?
Are you some kind of waitress?
What do you want?
What do you mean, what do I want? I just came here to check up on you guys. Guess I broke up the girls' club. So, this is the lounge, huh? A bar, a sofa, and 3 ladies. Feel like I'm in the VIP room.
Can I get you a drink?
You better not be underage.
I turned 21 just the other day.
Oh man, boy did they need to say that earlier if that's gonna be the truth. Of course, it's not unheard of for 18-year-olds to lie and say they're 21, or 16-year-olds to lie and say they're 21, frankly. Yeah, I just don't really believe that's the case, because if the events of the first game 999 happened, then you have to make the argument that she was 19 or 20 in that game, and if you're making the argument that the Clover in the previous game was 19 or 20, oh boy, did they draw her younger looking than that, because she felt like she was like 16 or something. And honestly, it means, I guess maybe she was 10 years old when she was kidnapped for the first Nonary game, and I guess that would make some sense, but I didn't even believe that. I see. Well, I guess we could probably have a drink or two then. Unfortunately, as much fun as that sounds like, I don't think it's a very good idea. This isn't really a good time to get wasted.
Really? It seems like this sort of thing is exactly what makes people want to drink in the first place.
She makes a good point.
Sigma?
I'm just kidding. Besides, I've got a headache. Drinking is probably not the best
It
plan.
hasn't gone away yet?
Well, it was just fine for a while, but now I guess it's back.
Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm sure if I just leave it alone, it'll go away in a bit. That's how it went before, anyway. Has this been happening to anyone else?
The headaches.
Uh-huh.
Now that you mention it, yeah, I did get one a bit ago. I feel fine now, though.
What about you, Luna?
You know, I think I did have a bit of a headache earlier. Not me. No headaches here.
Clover, no headaches.
Well, it's hard to explain. I just feel kind of weird. Your head feels weird? No. My body feels weird. Like my whole body.
You feel kind of like numb? I think I've got the same thing. It's kind of like when you fall asleep on top of one of your arms. And then when you wake up, that arm kind of feels like it's not really yours anymore. It's not just my arm, though. My whole body feels kind of numb and foreign.
I don't know. I guess it's kind of like that, but...
Oh, if that's what you're talking about, then yeah, I know what you mean. It's kind
Really?
of like my body isn't really mine. I'm sort of floating. Like that?
Yeah, exactly. Now, if Luna says she's feeling that too, then we've got like 5 people that potentially were frozen in the treatment center, where there's only 3 pods.
Maybe it's because of the anesthetic gas.
The what
It
now?
might have looked like white smoke. The stuff they used when they abducted you.
Oh yeah, right.
It seems like we were unconscious for a long time, so it must have been pretty powerful stuff.
What's funny here is we really still have not found any bit of hint as far as the lion eating the sun, and any like part of that conspiracy.
Well, it could be a side effect, or it could be that it just hasn't worn
We've been
off
playing for like
yet.
15 to 20 hours since we saw that hinted at as being an important mystery, and then it got completely forgotten.
Whatever. That's not important. Right now we need to figure out how to get out of here.
Alright, I'll go have a look somewhere else then. You guys go to stick around. You guys going to stick around here?
Haven't really taken a good look at everything yet.
Yeah, they haven't looked, so they haven't found anything about Radical 6 apparently, nor have they found anything about the lunar eclipse. Catch you later. And it feels very weird that you may very well just intentionally be trying to avoid certain discoveries so the story doesn't go in a certain way. And that feels very counter to any kind of logic that you would intentionally try to not open plot paths so you get a better outcome. It feels a lot like those Far Cry endings where if you just sit around and do nothing for 10 minutes, you'll win the game and get the credits, but you don't actually experience any of the game.
Perfect timing.
You were in the crew quarters before, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. Alice and I went through all the rooms.
Did you find anything suspicious?
Like a secret door or something?
If I had, you really think I wouldn't have told you?
Anything else out of the ordinary, perhaps?
Out of the ordinary?
What's this book?
So we show Cork the book. Oh, that's a book about cats. Meowt cats. Oh, sorry. It's just this thing that happens to me ever since I was a kid. Whenever I start talking about cats, I start talking like one. It doesn't really mean anything, though.
Okay.
That's weird. So what's the cat book about?
Well, there's this quantum physics thought experiment called Schrodinger's cat. The book talks about it.
Oh, yes, I've heard about that. A cat is put in a box with a device that has a random chance to release a poison which will kill the cat. That means the cat is both alive and dead until someone opens the box. Something like that, right?
Yeah, that's the basic idea. Meowby? I don't really know anything about it. I'm just telling you what Fi told me.
So it probably isn't gonna give us any hints then.
I don't know. There could be a lot of hints in there.
Quark, you're doing it too.
Oops.
Well, what about you guys? You check out the lounge with Clover and Tomoji, and Quark was in the infirmary with Dio and Luna. Anything suspicious there?
This whole facility is pretty suspicious, but I suppose that's not what you meant. Well, the puzzles in the lounge were lunar eclipse themed.
Lunar eclipse?
Yes. Apparently, there's supposed to be a lunar eclipse on December 31st, 2028. All the puzzles were related to that somehow.
Isn't that the New Year's Eve?
I suppose it is. Well, I can't say I know what year or even what day it is, but Clover was saying something to that effect.
The 31st, huh? I'd been knocked out at dawn of the 25th, so the 31st would be 6 days after that. Lunar eclipse. What did it have to do with any of this? Try as I might, I couldn't think of any way an eclipse could be connected to our abductions.
What about the infirmary, Quark? Did you find anything there?
Yeah, we did find something.
What did you
Just
find?
one thing, though.
What was
Dio
it?
and Luna didn't tell you?
Dio and Luna didn't tell us anything. No.
Okay, I got it right here. Just a second.
So he brings out the Radical 6, which I think pretty much guarantees that you will know that part of the story in every timeline. Wouldn't it be crazy if it turned out that the paper is actually covered in Radical 6, so whoever picks it gets infected first? But it seems like it's airborne regardless. I doubt there's going to be much different here. Is this for real?
It seems a little hard to believe.
If it really is some kind of pandemic, though, that sounds like a pretty big deal.
Yes, it does.
There hasn't been anything on the news, though. This is the first time I've heard of the term Radical 6. Was that true, though? Was that really the first time I'd heard of it? I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd heard Radical 6 somewhere before. So yeah, anytime you get new content, it seems like it often just fades to black and you think it through your head, or it just adds a sentence and maybe it doesn't even differentiate it. But where and why?
If it is true, then I worry about what might be happening to the world outside. Is there a pandemic raging on the other side of these walls?
Clover's voice shattered to silence. Did we find a dead body?
You guys! Hurry! You need to come with me!
Finally? How could they have found the dead body, though?
Has something happened?
Yes! I mean, sort of. I mean, we found something. What did you find?
Yeah, what did you find?
It's horrible. It's really scary.
Horrible?
Never mind. Just shut up and follow me. You'll understand when you see it.
Where is
It's
it?
right over here in the next room. Just follow me.
In the next room. Well, I don't see anything in the next room. Clover was first into the room, followed quickly by me, Kay, and Quark. If Clover is going to somehow convince Kay and Sigma and Quark all in the same room and murder them, she's going to be an amazingly good killer. She said nothing, just pointed under the bed. The three of us crouched down and followed her finger. There it was. What the hell is this? So the bomb was always in the crew quarters, under the bed, in the other room where I guess the bed had always been. What the hell is this?
I think it's a bomb.
Okay. Bomb? No way.
So, thank you, Sigma. Goodbye.
So, apparently, there, somewhere down this path is going to be one of these locked book sections that I guess we'll just unlock immediately. Like, I'm really shocked that they found the bomb that quickly, because I thought it was almost certainly going to be behind a white door. So if we disarm the bomb, then that opens up two more paths that probably give us some bit of hints towards endings, although I also wouldn't be surprised if one of these is just a dead end. Yeah, and at this rate, I just don't think I'm gonna be able to rewind to get that gold file, so I'll have to do that after making it all the way to an ending. Of course, it was the same bomb I'd seen in my vision. Then it hadn't been a hallucination. Had it actually been a premonition?
We need to tell everybody.
I don't feel like the bed was down, but I guess maybe it was.
No, it's all right. Luna's out rounding them up. They should be here in just a few seconds.
And of course, this would irritate Dio quite a bit if I just reach down there and type in the password to disarm it.
Where is it?
But I guess there might also be more than one bombs.
Where's this bomb?
If the bomb was a smaller bomb, you could potentially use it to open the 9 door. No sooner had she spoken the words than the rest of our fellow captives appeared. Luna pushed it through them and pointed at the bomb.
There. You see?
Who found it? Luna or Clover? For several long moments, we just stared in silence. Slowly, we began to eye one another. Old suspicions suddenly reawakened. It was Fi who finally broke the silence.
Doesn't look like it has a timed detonator.
Interesting. So the bomb does not get activated just because of a time, which is believable because we certainly didn't see other instances of the bomb being set off.
There must be a remote somewhere.
I guess that's potentially the briefcase that was on the surface, but also I thought that was a communication device.
You're right. It'll probably use an active button or a switch of some sort, not a dead man switch. If we can get it, we should be safe as long as we don't press the button.
Who's the first person to find
Me.
this?
And Luna. We found it while we were searching this room.
I thought you and Luna were in the lounge.
Well, yeah. We looked all over, but we couldn't find anything there. So we gave up on the lounge and came here.
I can confirm that. I wanted to look around the lounge some more, so I stayed back. You guys must have found it when you got here then?
Yes.
How did you know it was a bomb?
Well, I mean, I could tell just by looking at it.
Why?
Well, during my
Training. Clover's eyes widened and she clapped her hands over her mouth.
Anyway, this is definitely a bomb. I guarantee it.
How do you know?
I just do, okay?
You sounded pretty sure about the switch, too. How do you know all this?
Let's just say it's an occupational hazard.
What kind of occupation do you have?
I can't tell you that.
Spare me the bullshit. This isn't time for keeping secrets.
This is new dialogue.
Please, just trust me. Look, I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm sure that's a bomb. And it's not just any kind of bomb. It's an antimatter bomb.
Antimatter?
Antimatter. What?
You mean a bomb that uses annihilation energy?
Oh, you know what that is? Anyway, yes, you're right.
What's Annie-Hill Nation?
I would have thought you'd know.
Why would you think he would know?
Why?
Well, your name is Quark. You do know what that means, right?
Yeah? Grandpa told me about it. He said it's an elementary particle, one of the smallest bits of matter, but I don't really know anything else.
I see. Can you explain it to him, Tenmyoji?
Me?
Well, you know him best. I thought you could explain it best.
Let me think. I don't know. It's hard to think of a way to explain it in simple terms.
You want me to do it?
Yes, please.
I nodded and turned to Quark.
Okay. To begin with, we usually refer to bits of matter as particles.
This is an
But there are also
interesting
things called
point
antiparticles.
where they have really dropped the ball in almost every other timeline to use Quark in the best way he could be used as the idiot character that needs things explained to him. Many, many times we've had Sigma play as the dumb character that needed things explained to him. Whereas had Quark just always been our partner and they could be explaining it to him instead.
For example, an electron
We're also
is
getting
particle
just a
with
lot
negative
of
charge.
red herrings, but if this is like anything like the first game, almost everything that feels like a red herring ends up playing some role.
It has a sort of opposite, which is the antiparticle called the positron. It has a positive charge instead of a negative one, like the electron. So, protons have antiprotons and neutrons have antineutrons. Antimatter is a general term that covers all the antiparticles. The thing that's interesting about antimatter is that because it's the opposite of normal matter, when they collide, they both sort of cancel each other out. When they cancel each other out, though, it releases a whole bunch of energy. That process is called annihilation. So, an antimatter bomb is a bomb that uses annihilation energy.
Why not? Why bother to explain that at all? That we're gonna have to keep an eye out to see, was there a reason that needed to be explained, or could you have just said it makes a very big explosion, big enough to blow up this whole facility and everyone in it?
Oh. Alright, how about this? You've got men and women, right? They're kind of like complete opposites.
Arguably. Not true, but okay.
What happens when you put them together? Well, if there were, quantum men and women, then when you put them together, they disappear.
Yeah, that's not what happens when you put men and women together, usually.
Because their opposite elements cancel each other out. Like when a plus cancels out a minus, you get 0. That's annihilation. But when you get annihilation, you also get...
I know! A baby!
Exactly.
This is a really odd localization or just Japanese explanation.
In this case, the baby you get is the energy from the annihilation. It's not a real baby, of course, but like a baby, it's got all sorts of potential to do amazing things.
That's kind of a strange explanation.
Yeah, I totally agree
You followed
there.
it, though, right?
Yeah, but that thing under the bed isn't going to be making a baby. Just how big of an explosion are we gonna get here?
It's pretty simple, actually. Just use Einstein's E equals mc squared.
You want me to do math?
The mass lost during annihilation will be converted to energy,
So you would take the total mass of matter and antimatter and multiply it by the speed of light squared. That should get you the amount of energy.
for example, let's say that it has 350 milligrams of antimatter. That would mean there would also be 350 milligrams of matter, right?
So you'd have 700 milligrams total.
Yes. That means annihilation would produce roughly 63 trillion joules.
It's a lot of joules.
That's about as much energy as the Hiroshima bomb.
What the? You've got to be kidding me.
Why is Dio surprised by this? Did they not tell him how big the bomb was going to
There's
be?
only 350 milligrams of stuff in there.
Well, technically it's 700 milligrams since you have the matter and the antimatter.
I don't know why you specifically would need the matter. Like, antimatter not being isolated would just naturally run into almost any matter in the air.
That's not the point. We're talking about something that weighs less than a gram being equal to a bomb that weighed like 10,000 pounds.
Don't get so excited. I think I know what kind of bomb this is. It's probably using antihydrogen. There should only be about 25 micrograms of material in there.
That's less than 1,000th of a gram. So you'd only get about 45 billion joules of energy, right?
What does that mean?
Why are you going to tell me all these numbers? Is this some kind of secret code that is being hinted here? Or are you just making up numbers because you like to talk math?
About as much explosive power as 1 ton of TNT.
A ton?
Yes. Well, approximately.
And how exactly should I not worry about that? That's enough to blow up a 10-story building!
True. But it's a lot less powerful than an atomic bomb. We don't know how big this place is. If we can get far enough away from the bomb, we might have a chance of survival.
Well, that's an interesting thought, I suppose.
Perhaps, but how do we know this is the only bomb?
What do you mean?
Good point.
Look at it carefully. It's got a number 3. Do you see it?
Oh yeah, you're right.
If the bombs are numbered,
Then there could be a number 2 and a number 1 bomb out there.
there's no way to know if this is the final bomb either. There could be a 4th, or a 5th, or...
Still not sure why Dio is flipping out on this since he's the one that
Anyway,
planted
we
the
can't just sit
bomb.
here and do nothing. We should move it.
No! Don't touch it!
Alice grabbed Dio by the wrist and jerked him away from the bed.
What the hell do you think you're doing? Have you got a death wish or something? This bomb is here because somebody planted it. Do you really think they didn't rig it to go off if some idiot tried to move it?
Then what the fuck are we supposed to do?
We'll just have to leave it be for now.
Run
Until we can
away.
find a detonator or figure out how to turn it off.
We haven't seen any kind of detonator
Telling us we should just
other
prance
than
off and
the
ignore the incredibly deadly
briefcase
bomb.
on the surface.
Probably gonna kill us all.
There's not much else we can do.
Do you know how to turn it off?
Well, there is a way.
Then spill the beans, lady.
What's the way?
How do we turn the damn thing off?
There should be an emergency deactivation password. If you enter that password, the device should, well, deactivate.
Yeah, I know what that is. So we just need to get this password?
Yes, that's right.
But there's no keyboard or anything on the bomb.
Again. You see it? Right here. There's a port. If we can find the password input device, we just connect it here. Then we can enter the password.
Okay.
Who would do something like this?
I have no idea. But we can figure out when they did it.
Oh, yeah?
You and I searched this room. We didn't find anything, right? So that means the bomb must have been planted after we'd left.
After we left, huh? But when we went and checked the chromatic doors, we were all there. And after that, we've all been around other people. There's no way anyone could have snuck off to plant it.
I don't know about that.
And see, there was another flicker of black pixels.
After we finished the AB game, we all split up.
This is why you never split up.
But if someone planted it right before then...
What do you mean?
Oh, yeah. You don't know, do you? Before we went off to the 3 rooms, we searched the hallway. Everybody was all split up.
Yeah. Anyone could have come by here then.
Well, I guess not me.
It would have been easy to sneak away.
You know, I don't remember seeing you around, Sigma. What were you doing?
Well, I was just kind of deep in thought, I guess. I stayed behind in the warehouse when you guys went off. So now they all suspect me. ... Hey, why are you guys giving me that look? You don't think I planted it, do you?
I said that.
Not out loud, you didn't. You've got to be kidding me. I don't know anything about this bomb.
Really? Are you sure? Back when we were in the AB room, you said you saw the moment when the bomb exploded.
That was just I could hardly say premonition. If they didn't think it was the worst lie on the planet, they'd think I was insane. Well, geez. Am I gonna just get a bad ending? And that would be nice, frankly, if we did get a bad ending right here, and then these entire branches just disappeared. Frankly, that would be a great way to fix a game like this, and its branching paths. It's just, instead of having all the dead ends end here, have some dead ends that end like right here before you even get to an escape room, or right after an escape room instead, and have more branches at the very beginning of the game, and then some will just disappear as, oh, this is never going to actually happen. Wait. This doesn't make any sense. According to Tomoji, one of us could have been in here. Why am I the only one who's under suspicion? Also, there's no way to know the culprit is actually one of us. Maybe there's someone else in here, and they set up the...
Impossible.
Why?
There's no way that would get past Zero. And there's no way Zero would let anybody do something that would get in the way of the game going forward. What?
When you say Zero, you mean the AI, right?
Of course.
This is confusing. From now on, let's refer to the real Zero, the one behind all of this, as Zero Senior, which would, of course, make the AI Zero Junior.
Okay. Fine with me. Anyway.
See, that's an instance where perhaps that is the origination of people calling them Zero Junior and Zero Senior in other timelines, but that probably doesn't matter.
Whichever one it is, they're not going to let a 10th person in. There's no way.
But they totally did. But what if the 10th person is Zero Senior?
I think it could be.
Why
Well,
not?
Zero Junior said so. He said that the real Zero was one of us.
Vi and Clover were right. There couldn't be a 10th guest. And Zero Senior was without a doubt one of us. But if that was the case, then could Zero Senior have planted the bomb? If not, then who had? Alice? Dio? It was Dio. Luna? Kay? Clover? Timoji? Vi? Or, it seemed insane, but could it have been Quark? It could be Sigma, just being brainwashed or crazy. No. Why would Zero Senior have gone to all the trouble of setting bomb? To make this game more exciting? To make it seem more dangerous? No. It didn't fit at all. But if that was the case, then the person who planted the bomb was someone other than Zero Senior.
Oh no. This is bad.
What is
Press
it?
the buttons on your bracelet.
We ran out of time. Oh poop. Is this for
We
real?
only got 4 minutes until the chromatic doors open.
Let's go then.
You're right. This bomb thing's gonna have to wait until later.
Yep. Once again, the story just drags you along. You've got to rush to the next part of the story. Can't resolve anything. Honestly, if this was an anime TV show instead of a game, it would definitely be a TV show that was on one of the broadcast channels or cable channels that shows a lot of commercials and has a lot of commercial breaks, because there's so many cliffhangers that you could obviously hang a commercial break on. Although I frankly would have preferred less cliffhangers and a no commercial break public broadcast presentation. And I would say most anime shows typically don't have a lot of commercial breaks programmed into them, because they are designed really to be almost advertisements for themselves to sell the Blu-ray version of the anime later on.
5 minutes
In most cases.
until chromatic doors close.
The doors have opened. We need to figure out who's going where and fast.
Now, I'm not sure exactly why there's only one option here. So our options this time
We
are,
don't have time to wait for you to figure it out. Just pay attention. I'm only
Okay.
gonna say this once.
Vi's gonna explain it for us, thank goodness. Option A, Luna and I, yellow. Pair up with Clover, open the green door. Kind of doesn't matter what door we go down. I think at the end of the day we're going to end up in a new escape room regardless. Timoji and Dio pair up with Alice, open the red door. Kay and Quark pair up with Vi, open up the blue door. Option 2, or option B, Luna and I pair up with Vi to open the red door. Timoji and Dio and Magenta pair up with Clover to open the blue door. Kay and Quark pair up with Alice to open the green door. Option C, Luna and I yellow pair up with Alice to open the blue door. Timoji and Dio Magenta pair up with Vi to open the green door. Kay and Quark pair up with Clover to open the red door.
3 minutes remain until chromatic doors.
Seems like we've got 3 minutes to choose. That seems like that's enough. Okay, how are we gonna do
We have a
this?
system here, or we'll never have time to argue it out. Why don't we let the people who are at the most disadvantage right now decide?
Okay, the
The
most.
people who only have 1 BP.
Oh, so that would be me, you, and Timoji.
No way. I refuse.
Well, then what would you
Be
suggest?
fair and take a vote.
vote. So we all just raise our hands for option we want.
Exactly.
So which one do you want, Alice?
Option C. I want to go with Sigma and Luna.
Tough. Pick something else.
Alright. Looks like you're not so fond of me anymore. Do you agree with him, Luna?
I'll just let Sigma decide.
Fine.
I'd like option C too. Clover and I were a pair for the first round, so I feel that I can trust her. What about you, Quark?
That's fine with me.
So it seems like everybody's gonna
So
vote
that's 3 votes
option
for
C.
counting mine. How about the rest of you?
I'd like to pair up with Sigma and Luna too.
So option B then. I'd like to go with Phi. Good with that, Luna?
Sure. I really don't mind.
Then we've got 3 votes for option B.
Interesting.
I'd like to go with option A.
Dio picking option A, not breaking the vote. You want to pair up with Alice? You're a strange duck.
How about you, Tenmyoji?
I don't mind going with option A.
1 minute remains until chromatic doors close.
Okay. So 2 votes for A, 3 votes for B, and C. If Clover's vote doesn't decide this thing, we're gonna have to figure something else out.
Which one do you want, Clover?
See, and now Clover almost certainly would vote with Alice, which
I want to go with option C.
interesting. She broke ranks.
Mark chose Ally in the first round, and I was with Kay in the first round.
Then that's what we're doing.
Option C has won 4 votes. We're almost out of time, and I didn't exactly have a convincing argument. It's gonna have to go with the majority.
10 seconds remain until chromatic.
So it jumped from 3 minutes to 10 seconds.
9, 8, 7.
And will this be 0?
The doors are closing. Let's go.
Come on, Luna, hurry up. We've got to get to the blue door. Luna, Ace, and I dashed toward the blue door. I looked over my shoulder in time to see the others disappearing into the doors. Clover, Quark, and Gay have ended up with the red door, and Phi and Dio and Tomoji have gone through the green door.
1, 0.
So once again, it's 0.
Chromatic doors closing.
Although I bet it just counts to 0, regardless of who you're with. I don't think it's anything that sneaky. And so we'll get to the room with the handles. And by all logic, this should take us to the left door and the botanical garden where we haven't been before, huh? There's 3 doors here.
It looks like they're all locked, though.
And we still don't know why a specific door would unlock. Whether it's based on who pulls the handle or how many BP the person has that pulls the handle, or whether it has to do with the selections that were made in previous decisions.
Does that mean this is just a dead end?
Well, there's this weird lever over here.
Try pulling it.
So we have Sigma apparently going to pull it. How about you try pulling it?
What's with all this hostility? Are you still mad about the last AB game?
Of course I am.
Please don't fight. We need to work together, or we're really going to be in trouble. Please.
Is Luna gonna pull it? Or
Very well. I'll pull the lever then.
so this time Luna pulls it.
Okay.
Yeah, go right ahead. See if I care.
See, it kind of does feel like just different people pull it, and that opens different doors, which potentially feels like had all 3 of us pulled the lever, we could have easily gone through each escape room and gotten a lot more information.
But only one. I wonder how you open the other ones.
Who cares? We should get moving.
Once again, they're not mentioning which door that opened, but we know it was the left door because it's a botanical garden. And yeah, I figured you would need something like this in the long run. You're not going to just be able to live off the food in the pantry. And frankly, you having plants and trees to refresh the oxygen is a smart move also. What is this place? Don't tell me we somehow managed to get outside.
Look up. There's a ceiling up there.
Yeah, I remember the door said bee garden or something. What's a bee garden?
Probably stands for something. Maybe beautiful?
This feels like a whole other little world.
I don't know why it would be beautiful instead of botanical. Like an oasis in the middle of all this metal.
I feel kind of weird saying this, considering where we are, but this place feels so liberating. All of this green. It's wonderful.
Yeah, and if they could have done this in one room, I'm surprised they wouldn't have done this in more rooms.
It's huge, though. We'll wear ourselves ragged trying to search the whole thing.
This must be the exit. We still can't force our way. Well, so much for it being this easy. For this being easy, it's locked.
We should split up and look around.
Agreed.
Well, at least let's get to it then. Well, that was fairly exhausting. And interesting that you have a glowing line here telling you where to walk when everywhere else you would have been on rails. Yeah, and I'm just gonna have to remind myself that we did not get the archives. We only got 3 out of 10 instead of 4 out of 14 over there, or 12 out of 12 here. How we got even 3 out of 10, I'm not sure, frankly. So I'll have to remember to go back there. We went through the blue door, and I guess every escape room will just tell us whether we've collected everything. So if we do need to come back and unlock some things, that shouldn't be too hard to figure out. And a lot of these novel sections obviously don't have any collectible stuff, so there's no real concern there. It is funny that I have the memo and the password to turn off the bombs, but I don't have the input device and haven't seen it. As far as new items, we haven't found any yet. We do have both of the passwords, but yeah, we failed. Almost certainly there would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things unlocked there. Right? 6 or 7 things per page, which if we got 7 things unlocked, that would be 10. Okay, so is there anything else to say or do? Or are we done? I think we're done. Game has now been left running for over 90 hours, and frankly, I think I've actually been playing the game for probably 20 to 25 hours. It is just a little too long, a little exhausting, and I know we probably aren't even that far down the path. I think there's still easily 6 to 9 hours minimum of gameplay, and still a ton of stuff that we can't just easily skip through. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and get me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.